don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you a commercial building owner in Southern New England? Are you frustrated with your roof services? Contact Eagle Rivet Roof Service today. Our skilled technicians provide tailored roof repair and maintenance programs to maximize your building's lifespan. With 24/7 emergency response and comprehensive service options, we are Greater New England's trusted commercial roofing provider. Visit EagleRivet.com for a complimentary inspection or call 860-953-1231. Protect your investment with Eagle Rivet.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Don't let politics dictate your investment strategy. Shane Gornick of Forefront Financial Planning in suburban Chicago says business doesn't overreact to election results, and neither should you.
As a publicly traded company, it's a mandate that you have to act in the best financial interest of your shareholders.
And that includes having a plan to make money in any political environment.
Really, the color that matters most for these companies is green.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Black people! You know what time it is. Get it together! Scallywags, nutmeggers, conversationalists, and of course you haters. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. This damn cold stuck around longer than I expected. That's how you know you're getting old. Just can't get rid of it. But I muddled through it. But I'm still here and applauding myself because I'm so proud of me. I let nothing get to me. I started off by saying black people because it is for some people, Black History Month. And I don't want to go without acknowledging it. People are going to have it everywhere. Commercials, television shows, maybe even this network. And our partners. You know, we got our sister station, Hot 93.7, which I like to call him. Kid Fresh actually confirmed to me that's why it's called that, because of his accent. Hot 93.7. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be doing it. I'm just going to warn everybody right now. Don't text me. Don't call me. Don't converse with me. Do not begin a conversation with me about why or if I am celebrating Black History Month. Let me start that today by saying no. It is not, as many people would say, because of some sort of self-hatred. No. It also has nothing to do with hatred of people who happen to be Black, African American, Negro, whatever it is they're calling each other. No. It is simply this reason and this reason alone. I celebrate American history, and all of us are a fabric of that, and I don't choose favorites on each and every ridiculous month. I don't pay attention to Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't pay attention to, Guadalupe Independence Month. I don't pay attention to any of it. I don't care. I don't. Okay? As far as history goes, I pay attention to the history that I like. And if they want a platform to do that, buy some ad space here on Reese on the Radio. Agents are standing by. Sell anything you want. Kwanzaa cloths, kufis, whatever it is. The latest Jordans. I don't care. Sponsor the program, but I'm just not falling for the okie doke anymore. Don't care, not bothering. And in fact, you shouldn't have to worry or care about whether or not I'm celebrating it. You celebrate it. What are you doing in the house? You lighting candles? Huh? You holding little seances in the house, having conversations about your ancestors? Whatever it is you're doing. You trying to connect with the spirit world? Do what you got to do. But please stop asking the rest of us to do the thing that you need to be doing. Okay? Gather your family together. Okay? Get in a circle. Do whatever it is you got to do. And celebrate Black History Month. But please stop asking everybody else to do it. I don't want to take away. It's like vegetarians telling everybody else that they can't eat meat. Stop telling me I'm supposed to celebrate it. I don't want to be your activist. Not interested. If you want to celebrate Black History Month, holler when you want to talk about Thomas Sowell. Holler when you want to talk about, Walter Williams. Holler when you want to talk about Shelby Steele. Holler at me when you want to talk about, Clarence Thomas. Holler at me when you want to talk about conservative Black leaders, Larry Elder, any one of those guys. Whenever you want to talk about Black history, talk about men who have contributed to the advancement of African Americans in this country, especially financially. And all four of those men have and are prominent leaders who should be discussed. So holler at me when you want to talk about them. Okay? And I'm talking to Black folks. Or, better yet, holler at me when you've read one of those gentlemen's books or stories. If the folks over at the Smithsonian for African American History can ignore Clarence Thomas, white folks ignore Clarence Thomas, the second African American Supreme Court justice, by responding, "We can't tell everyone's story." But didn't bat an eye when Ketanji Brown Jackson became a Supreme Court justice. I don't want to hear any of your nonsense. Okay? So don't ask. And I don't give that crap about, well, I didn't hear when you said that, Reese. Tell your friends. Yeah, don't bother that Reese guy about that. He's not down. No, I'm not. I'm not. I've been Black for 35 and 45 minutes, at least. Okay? And by the way, if you care so much about Black history, you should be celebrating me. Where are the other Black talk show hosts in Connecticut? Where are they? Anybody? I didn't think so. So if you're not celebrating me, not celebrating you. You should be running around here. All of those black leaders should be running to this program. Did you see the WTIC hired an African-American host in the afternoon drive? Yeah, we should be calling on. We should be coming on talking about things that are important to the African-American community. My phone has not rung. Not rung once. Not rung at all. I've called them all. They won't return my phone calls. Haven't been on this program at all. So please don't ask me. Oh, and by the way, those of you who are African-American who listen to this program, if you're not hollering at those organizations saying, why aren't you on that black man's radio show? If you're not doing that, I don't want to hear from you either. Okay? So get together, celebrate however you want to, but please don't make me a part of it. Don't care. So I'm done with that. And that's the last you'll hear of it. Moving on. I want to thank some white folks. That'll hurt them. Anyway, I want to thank, Rodney over at the 10 Main Cafe in Delhi, who we found them in Bristol by accident. We were going out to a church, which I'll talk about them in a second. We were going out to church, and we thought the church began at 9 o'clock. And what do we know? Because it said it opened its doors at 9 o'clock. So we got into Bristol early. And when we found out that service didn't begin until 10:30, we had plenty of time to go grab something to eat. So right around the corner, we found this great place, 10 Main Cafe in Delhi. And we had breakfast there. Rodney's the owner. We met his wife, met his, I think his mother-in-law and father-in-law. His father-in-law was a great guy out of Jamaica Plains in Massachusetts, Boston. It's just Boston. Had a great conversation with them, Roseanne and I. That was fantastic. Their kids serve in the military. In fact, one of their children was on a aircraft carrier on active duty during the raid in Venezuela to get Maduro. And we thank their daughter for her service. And all of you. So, yeah, that was great. And Rodney, I want to propose this. If you're listening or if anybody who knows you, I want you to go to Rodney and say that I am going to ask that he get some Kaiser rolls. Now, they gave me a hard roll there, but I'm saying get some Kaiser rolls. Here's why. I've got an idea, okay? Not many people. Only one guy has done it for a little while. By the way, if you order it, just say that you want one. Between rounds, Jerry Puya will give you a bagel on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on a bagel. It's not officially called the Reese on the Radio, but it should be. Hint, hint, Jerry. Hint, hint. I'm sorry, did I mean hint, hint. But anyway, Rodney, back to you. I'm a big fan of the Kaiser roll. And when I was a kid, we would get a bacon, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser roll. And here is my idea. Because you're from the old school, and when I mean old school, meaning, you're here in the Tri-State area, from the old school, check this out. I got an idea. Kaiser roll with a bacon, egg, and cheese, right? Or a sauce and egg and cheese. And you call it, hear me out, call it the back in the day bacon, egg, and cheese. Back in the day sandwich. I'm brilliant at this. I'm applauding myself. I'm brilliant. The back in the day breakfast sandwich. That's all. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser roll. They'd love it. Anyway, think about it. Holler at me. I don't want any credit. I don't want any proceeds. Unless, of course, you feel like donating them. Please do that. Our good friends at Between Rounds, they do that all the time. They got the Becca, right? There's a bacon, egg, and cheese. See? It's a brilliant idea. Anyway, moving on. I also want to thank the good folks at the Bridge Community Church in Bristol. We went to a service there on Sunday. We will be going back. It was a great service, singing, fantastic. The community brilliant. I showed up in a suit, obviously overdressed, 6'3", bald man standing in the pews. Was clearly odd to a lot of people there. And it was like, who brought their lawyer? I don't know, but I was standing there. Roseanne and I were dressed to the nines to go to service, but everybody else was there in jeans and hanging out. I didn't know that it was just a casual place. I always thought of church in the same way I've always thought of church. You wear your Sundays best. Church has changed a lot over the years. Shows how long I haven't been there. So I promise I'll lighten it up the next time around. But I want to thank those folks over at the Bridge Community Church. Pastor Todd, Principal Craig. We had a wonderful time there, and we'll be going back. Also, a programming note. One of the speakers at the church last night was a guy by the name of Brad Johnson, a writer for the Washington Times, the Daily Wire, and the Christian Post. He will be here tomorrow at 4 o'clock. He is bringing attention nationally to the genocide that's happening in Nigeria, the killings of Christians there. You guys have known all about that in the news. Well, Brad is in Washington talking to some of the Congress about getting more and more support of Christian Nigerians in northern Nigeria to stop the slayings that are going on. So Brad will be here tomorrow to talk about that, and we thank him because he was also at the church, and I got to stop him, so he'll be here live in studio. We'll talk to him about all of that. And that's pretty much it. So I got everybody, right? So 10 Main Cafe, Bridge Community, Brad Johnson, and yeah, that's it. Also, I want to thank everybody who have been sharing my post online, especially on Facebook. Not so much on X, but all the people who have been sharing this stuff and commenting on it. It has turned into a bunch of arguments and debates. At least they have been peaceful in the last weekend. There's not the screaming and hollering, people calling each other the B words and threatening each other to fight, that kind of stuff. Not that it isn't tolerated, but once I start to see that happen, I'll just delete the post so that these people won't do that. I don't like seeing it. I don't like hearing people get threatened or people cursing at each other. It's unnecessary. The dialogue has gotten too ridiculous in that regard. Now, speaking of which, I want to make this point. And that is, folks, virtual signaling is a dead art. It's like Latin. And I know that people are still doing it, but stop. No one cares that you think you are on the right side of history or on the right side of an issue. There are no prizes at the end of your opinion. Do you understand that? Your point of view and your belief, there are no, there's nothing to win at the end at all. You are far too serious on the virtue signaling. You're better than no one. Please understand that. I know that in the social media realm, it is important that so many people agree with you and how clever you are and smart. That all of that is fine. You're smart, you're clever, you're brilliant. And again, look, I'll applaud you. But the virtue signaling is corny. It is silly and stupid. And you're not that deep just because you agree with what you find popular on television. I noticed a lot of that last night in the Grammy Awards, which we'll talk about later, because I'm sure people will call about it. They were all on stage patting themselves on the back and applauding themselves. Think about this, folks. Applauding themselves about their hatred of ICE agents. The theme last night was ICE out, F ICE. And then people, in hearing that, stood up and applauded words. I don't like ICE. Screw ICE. Yeah! profound, brilliantly put. That and I'm sitting there going, this is an applause line. Why? Is it because people in the crowd are seeing someone who is famous taking a position of the plebes, of the small people, the lesser thans, that they are using the platform while they collect an award, that they all, literally patting each other on the butt, receiving an award? I am so happy that you recognize me for my talent and recognizing that my album and my contribution was better than others. Thank you for letting me know that I am above everyone in this particular singular moment. Now, let me offer something to the morons who are watching on their boob tubes or on their cellular phones. Ice out. Good night, everybody. Yeah! Yeah! She's not just talented, but she's in the know. She is so versed in politics and social economic struggle. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Brilliant. I'm going to buy another copy of your album. These people who now, the plebes, the nobodies, who now are taking to social media going, yeah, right, Billie Eilish, ice out. Yeah. And then they see somebody who says something like, I support ice. No, that's not. No, you're not. No. It's cultism. When we come back, I'll explain. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio.
Got heat? No? Say, come on into Campbell. If it's cold outside and inside, contact Campbell. Campbell Heating and Cooling does business the American way with their own technicians, so you know that you can trust who's coming into your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From simple service to a complete system replacement, count on Campbell, veteran-owned and operated. Campbell Heating and Cooling. Visit CampbellCooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Equipment.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
So in total, how much would you say you lost in this scam?
I would say over $1 million. I worked really hard my whole life, and I wanted someone to share it with. I thought he really did love me, but he scammed me. It's not just the money. You almost lose a part of yourself.
Every year, older Americans lose hundreds of millions of dollars to romance scams just like this. I'm Connecticut Attorney General William Tong. With AARP, we're working hard to stop these scams before they start.
Visit aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Been an outbreak of norovirus at Quinnipiac University in Hamden. The school says cases were first reported in a residence hall last week. A statement that went out to students suggests staying home if sick, keep hydrated, and wash hands and surfaces frequently. Legislative session kicks off on Wednesday. It's a short one this year, only 13 weeks. Community nonprofit providers and advocates met with lawmakers today at the LOB to talk about a push for more state support. The search continues for the mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie was reported missing over the weekend. She's 84, last seen near her home in Tucson, Arizona. Authorities out there believe they are investigating a crime. House Speaker Johnson says he hopes the partial government shutdown will be a short one. He says the plan is to vote on Tuesday. House Rules Committee is meeting today. Ahead of that, agencies that are going without for now temporarily include DHS and Defense. Armed robbery investigation underway in North Haven. They say a man was robbed at gunpoint and his BMW swiped from an apartment complex on Hartford Turnpike in town on Sunday. No injuries have been reported. WTIC News Time is 2:31. Bob Cox in the Weather Center.
It's dry and cold this afternoon. The high around 30, but a bit of a northwest breeze at 10 to 15 with some higher gusts. Will make it feel 5 to 10 degrees colder than the actual temperature. Tonight, partly cloudy, lows in the single numbers through much of the area. A mix of sun and clouds on Tuesday with highs in the low 30s. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, lows between 8 and 16 degrees. Wednesday and Thursday both look mostly sunny. Highs in the low 30s Wednesday, 25 to 30 Thursday. Increase in clouds Friday with some light snow developing during the second half of the day. Highs 25 to 30 and an Arctic cold shot back in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Big day for the Dow so far on Wall Street, up over 500 points. The Nasdaq's ahead 195, and the S&P is up 47. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When it comes to painting your home, do not do it yourself. Call the pros at CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business independently owned and operated, and they provide worry-free, excellent work. They are so clean, and it's all at the right price. I mean, with over 70,000 five-star reviews, the proof is in their painting. And it's so easy to schedule your free estimate for painting the outside or inside of your home or business. Just go online to CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
The Urban League of Greater Hartford is hosting our 11th annual Black History Celebration, a legacy reveal, showcasing the achievements and contributions of African American, Afro-Caribbean, and Afro-Latino cultures in the Capital Region. Join us Thursday, February 19th from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Mark Twain House and Museum located at 351 Farmington Avenue in Hartford. For the festivities or be part of the celebration by becoming an exhibitor, vendor, sponsor, or volunteer, call 860-578-4017 or email events at ulgh.org to learn more.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. LegacyBox.com/value.
Brian Shackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, I have a number for you, 40,000. Let that number sink in for a second, 40,000. That's basically a small city, and it's also the number of people choosing pain relief without surgery through QC Kinetics. It's an unbelievable number of lives that have been transformed by QC Kinetics. It's patients who thought they were out of options and surgery was the only answer, now are moving better, hurting less, and getting their lives back together thanks to QC Kinetics. And here's the kicker. Your first consultation with them is totally free. You go in there and you find out if it's right for you. They're in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury, so the chances are it's close to you as well. You have zero to lose. It's about long-lasting pain relief without surgery, without drugs, and without downtime. And the sooner you get started, the better it is for your long-term health. Give them a call. And again, it's a new number here, 860-850-2682. Again, it's 860-850-2682 for QC Kinetics. Make your appointment for that first consultation, which is totally free. 860-850-2682. Call QC Kinetics today.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues.
Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
The cult is real, ladies and gentlemen. People don't believe that it is. But the cult is real. And you always have to consider what's at stake for these folks to be a member of the cult. Most of them, and I can say this about most of them, it is losing ground politically in their daily lives. Just the usual, I hate MAGA, I hate Trump folks. They will never debate you on the ideology of the left. They never will. If taken to task about what they believe, they will switch the subject on you. Now, a lot of you will press and not recognize what I'm talking about or recognize when your opponent does this. Let me lay it out. Because I'll explain the cult followers in a second. But the leftists, the one who doesn't want to cede any ground to MAGA, conservatives, Trump, any of those folks are the ones where you've got them dead to rights on logic, right? Where you could say, okay, I know you accept people who wish to mutilate their children for gender-affirming care, but your child, would you want a teacher making that decision with your child without your consent? Now, that's a reasonable question to ask a mother. And the reaction is always natural for a mom. Would you make that? But I don't want to make that choice for other mothers. I don't want to make that choice for other children. They'll immediately deflect. They will never answer for themselves. But would you want it? Well, I don't have a child like that, so I can't really answer that. Sure you can. We're having an ideological debate. Of course you can answer that. Well, I don't have it. You notice, remember when Chris Murphy did that? Well, I don't have any girls. I have sons. That's when you know you got them dead to rights. You can back away. See, what you want them to do is to admit that you got them. No. You're fine. Be fine. Just go, okay. That's a good point. I'm glad that you did not answer. I understand why you couldn't. Like, immediately cede that ground. And then they will spend every ounce of themselves trying to explain to you why in their lives it would be different. So they don't even agree with the policy that they're fighting for when it comes to their own livelihood. They want it for everyone else but their own. Let it go. You've already won the debate. See, this is how I try to explain to people, you don't even understand your victories. You're seeking for the usual fundamental victory where the person is completely flummoxed and they finally lay down their sword and they go, you have beat me. No, it's different now. It's completely different now. When you see them fumbling and bumbling over themselves, that's how you won. When they can't even address what you're talking about and move on to other subjects, that's when you know you've won. Find those victories. And here's the beauty of it all. The beauty of it all is you don't need them. You don't need them to confirm that you're right about anything. See, if you have conviction and if you know what you know and you know that it's right, there's nothing to debate. The facts are the facts. They're removable. They're stubborn. They cannot be moved. They cannot be swayed because they're facts. It's water is wet. That's all. These folks, on the other hand, why do they debate you? Why do they jump on your Facebook page or jump on your X comment? The reason why is because they can't believe that someone doesn't think as they do. And then when you lay out the facts and you just go, here they are, whatever, they will fight you tooth and nail. Why? Because they wish to convince you, like a cult. Going over and over again, no matter how immovable you are. Thank you. I appreciate your point of view. I disagree. Thanks for stopping by. Well, you're just a bigot and a Nazi. No problem. I appreciate you joining in the conversation. Have a great day. Sure, Nazi. Okay. That's how the cult operates. Most cults teach their members to view non-members as spiritually inferior, demonic, or lost, creating an us versus them bubble that keeps people loyal. Outsiders get demonized in doctrine or in private teachings, like those people are corrupt. They avoid contact with you usually. They tell you, right? I would never, converse with a MAGA person or a Republican. Don't buy my products or see my movies. But what's really, really, really the description of a cult, it's not how they treat the people who won't join them. It's about how they treat the people who left them. They get the worst of it. Those people, they get the ire, they get destroyed, they get a mistreatment you don't understand. When that person has the wake-up call and says, I just couldn't do it anymore, boy, do the knives come out then. They seek to destroy, they do everything. It is their mission. You're not one of us anymore? You're abandoning us? And it's never like reflective, right? When somebody leaves the flock, you would think, are we doing something wrong? Why did we lose them? It's like, what do you do when you own a store, like a company or whatever, and you lose customers? When you hold the meeting, the monthly meeting to go over P&L, profits and loss, folks, P&L, you go over, hey, how many of these customers did we lose this month? Hey, our August numbers are lower than they were last year. What's the reason for that? You assess, right? And you don't assess the customer. You assess yourselves. You also assess the customer's needs. You know, during the winter time, how many snow shovels did we sell? Not a lot. Why? We didn't have a lot of snow. Did we have a lot of inventory in the stock room? Yes, we did. Okay, that makes sense. We spent a lot of money for a product that we weren't going to sell because we had a low. This is how it's done. But in religious groups or political groups, okay, religious cults. In these political groups, never is there an assessment of their own failures. You want a perfect example? Liberals, Democrats, even some of you independents who I'd like to just call Democrats undercover, ask yourself a question. Why didn't the Democrats release an autopsy of the 2024 election this year? Why have they refused? It's always done. The autopsy, in essence, is supposed to tell Democrats where they went wrong so that the people running for office can change course and cater to the needs of their constituents. But yet, for some odd reason, this year, it was hidden. I've got an idea why. Because they would probably have to reveal some very, very ugly truths about the Democrat Party. Perhaps one of them being their party's not really in line with the whole LGBTQ transgender thing anymore. That they're losing black and Hispanics because of the over-pushing of that narrative. And they can't reveal that to the public because their biggest donors are of the LGBTQ community, and that would be an open admission that they have to abandon that agenda. And they would lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And they cannot afford that. They will probably also learn in that autopsy that this Democratic Socialism of America group that's out there and the, lure and the, let's just say, what's the word I'm looking for here? That it's not obsession. The seduction. There it is. The seduction of socialism inside the party, that growing number, is actually failing in the general election. They would have to admit to that. And both of these groups would fracture from the Democrat Party if they openly had to admit that they had to abandon both of these groups in order to win. And the Democrat Party would be teeny bit of what they ever were. That's why they couldn't release it. And I understand that. But when you're a part of the cult, you can't. You cannot defect because they will shun you. And the transgender LGBTQ community and the Democratic Socialists, oh, vicious are they. And I'm pretty sure they know all the trade secrets and where all the bodies are buried. So they can't afford to upset that cart. We'll come back. We got more news and more views. I got plenty of stuff. And we got Ryan Fazio coming up at 5 o'clock. I'll tell you about that in a bit when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
That's what I get. I got all this stuff going on here as well. Linda Sinkowitz just sent me an email. Linda, I will definitely post that in the top of the hour break. So that will be on reasoontheradio.com for you to check it out. And that is her instructional video for how you can help stop voter fraud right in your own neighborhood. So I'm going to post that roughly about the 3 o'clock hour as the news is going on. Also, as I mentioned, Ryan Fazio is joining us on the phone today to talk about his new plan to reduce electricity bills here in the state if indeed he is elected. But I want you guys to tune in at 5 o'clock for this reason. When Ryan is here, I am going to propose something to him. And you do not want to miss this. And when I say this is probably the ultimate tease. Do not miss it at 5 o'clock. Whatever you do, if you're listening now and you don't listen at 5 o'clock, find a way to get back to listening to it, because how Ryan Fazio answers this question will be very, very important to not just Reese on the Radio, but to WTIC. So stand by for that. And we'll see how it goes. We'll just see how it goes. So stand by for that. I won't let anybody scare him. Don't worry, it's a good question. It's not a gotcha. But I got a really, really good question I want to ask him. And I really want everyone who listens to this program to listen to it when it happens. Let me take Jerry real quick. How we doing, Jerry? What's going on?
Hey, Reese, from one political and cultural infidel to another, let me wish you a good afternoon. And I'm sure General Mike Flynn can tell you what happens when you leave the fold.
That's right.
They do come at you with both barrels. I was calling about the latest front in the war on immigration enforcement and time permitting a night train express comment. But my comment on the latest front is that to me, it seems it's pretty clear there's racial reinforcements being called in. You had that preacher on a week or two ago. Last week we had the NBA in general, and then Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr and Seth Curry in particular. joining in terms of this idea. And then you had Ice. I think Ice-T was on the Charlemagne character show.
Yeah.
Kill Ice instead of kill the cops or whatever he was saying.
Yeah, it was called Ice Killer as opposed to Cop Killer.
And just lovely. And to think he drew his salary from Comcast NBC for years.
Playing a cop.
Playing a cop. So I think it's pretty obvious, and this is something that maybe you have more credibility than I would, is pointing out that open borders are not in the interest of black people. They drain away resources. They dilute their voting power. And this is just a play on the part of the Democrat Party. As we know, the open borders were A, to get more Democrat voters in the roll, B, to get more bodies in the census to give more electoral votes to blue states. That's sort of the main goal behind it. But now, I think that has to be stated every day. The Minnesota case, of course, it's a distraction from fraud. And maybe there's a China, as you said, Bill O'Reilly went into the China thing. But I do think it's really important to very directly confront the idea that, let's say during Black History Month, all black people should be opposed to immigration enforcement because they never quite give you the clear answer. They're mumble. But no, it is immigration enforcement. As the great Tyra said, hey, they know how we got here. Right, so it's important to state it over and over and over, in my opinion, that immigration enforcement is not the enemy of black people in the United States. In fact, the lack of immigration enforcement is the enemy of black people in the United States.
Jerry, I'm going to answer you. I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to answer you. So stand by while I do that. I appreciate you. Let me respond to what Jerry just said in the most, I guess, Reese on the Radio way that I can. The black vote is an ignorant one. It's just a fact. And the Democrat Party knows it. And the black vote will do anything to appease it. At least those that show up. But it is an incredibly ignorant vote. It does not vote for the issues. It votes for the letter behind the individual's name. Pete Buttigieg notwithstanding. He couldn't get a black vote if he came out with a mixtape. But the bottom line is that it is an ignorant vote. The people who they send out, and the Democrat Party is very crafty in this, in telling black folks that they are ignorant and dumb and don't know any better. It uses platitudes like oppression. You're oppressed. You can't get anywhere. You're a victim. These are things that are taught in black communities over and over again. It is an echo chamber of nonsense. And they use that ignorance wherever they can. And until they decide they don't want to be ignorant anymore, that will always be the case. But black folks, if you want to prove me otherwise, have at it. The number is 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. It's time to get into some news. John Silver's here in the WTIC newsroom. We'll be back.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the Radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 3 o'clock. Good afternoon. We have sunny skies, 31 degrees, and we'll keep the sunshine today. Highs low mid-30s. All the forecast details coming up. New London police are investigating after they say a dog was found dead over the weekend in a trash bag. The find was made Saturday, police say, in the area of Gallows Lane and William Street just before 2 p.m. after they were alerted by a motorist. Now, police say the canine is a male compact toy-sized dog, tan and black in color. The investigation is active and ongoing, and police are asking anyone with any information to contact the New London Animal Control. There have been over a half dozen reports of dead dogs being found in various parts of the state since the start of the new year. Ahead of a new session for lawmakers, nonprofits are asking for financial help from the state government. They say years of flat funding plus federal cuts have put vital services in jeopardy. Heather Gates is the CEO of Community Health Resources, which helps those impacted by mental illness, addiction, or trauma.
We are facing a funding crisis really of new proportions. Inadequate Medicaid rates, inadequate funding for state grant-funded programs, potential elimination of federal funding. And that is an ongoing trauma for the people we serve.
Connecticut Community Nonprofit Alliance says many workers providing those services are underpaid. They're asking the state to protect social services where the federal government won't. House returns to work today as the partial shutdown continues. Funding lapsed for Defense and Homeland Security departments as well as State and Treasury. The Senate has passed a funding measure. It still needs approval in the House.
This measure has to clear a key hurdle in the Rules Committee, which is meeting later today, where really any one member, particularly on the Republican side, could put the brakes on this. But Speaker Mike Johnson is hopeful that this can move forward. He has indicated that a vote on the House floor could come as soon as Tuesday.
Senator Richard Blumenthal says Democrats want reforms to ICE in exchange for votes. They include demasking and having judicial warrants.
I'm prepared to say not one penny more for DHS if our demands are unmet. And I will vote against any additional funding, not one more penny, if our demands for DHS reform are unmet.
Mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie is missing. Authorities in Arizona are looking for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, reported missing over the weekend and last seen at her home in the Tucson area. Chris Nanos is the Pima County Sheriff.
We saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime, and we're asking the community's help.
Trump administration is launching a $12 billion critical and rare earth mineral stockpile. More from correspondent Stacey Lim.
The White House says the initiative is called Project Vault. It's designed to counter China's dominance of key minerals used in defense, clean energy, and advanced technology, and to limit Beijing's leverage in trade negotiations. The stockpile would be financed by a $10 billion loan from the Export-Import Bank, along with more than $1 billion in private investment.
WTIC News Time 3:04. And checking traffic, the only problem we have up here is down in Lower Fairfield County, the southbound side of 95 between exits 14 and 13. Right lane is closed there in Norwalk. Elsewhere, it looks like most of the road work around here has been picked up, so we're in fairly decent shape. Still a couple of late-running projects. One in Windsor on the northbound side of 91 between 22 and 27, right lane roving repair. And in Windsor Locks, southbound 91 between 40 and 38A. That is also right lane. Rest of the deal in the Hartford area looks pretty good. 84, 91, Route 2, 291, all in good shape. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Temperatures officially climbed above the freezing mark this afternoon for the first time since January 23rd, but overall, cold weather will continue this week for the rest of this afternoon. Breezy, but not as cold as it's been, staying mostly clear, high near 35, turning bitterly cold once again tonight, clear. Low 1 below 0. Watch for icy spots tonight and early tomorrow. We'll see Sunday tomorrow, high 32. And again, very cold tomorrow night. Increasing cloudiness with a low of 6. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 31 degrees. And then for Thursday, mostly sunny and cold, high 29. For Friday, sunshine keeping with the clouds. And there could be some snow in the afternoon and at night. Friday's high 26. Very cold Friday night. Drop you to a low of 7. Bitterly cold as we start the weekend. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine on Saturday. Windy with a high of only 11 degrees. Temperatures will likely drop below 0 across the area Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Big rally on Wall Street this afternoon. The Dow's ahead 573 points. NASDAQ's up 158 and the S&P is up 44 points. I'm John Silda, WTIC 1080 News.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
We know that you want the best for your child. That's why you can trust our expert pediatric dentists here at Columbia Dental, who are trained to meet and handle your child's unique dental needs. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Brian Shackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, I have a number for you, 40,000. Let that number sink in for a second, 40,000. That's basically a small city, and it's also the number of people choosing pain relief without surgery through QC Kinetics. It's an unbelievable number of lives that have been transformed by QC Kinetics. It's patients who thought they were out of options and surgery was the only answer, now are moving better, hurting less, and getting their lives back together thanks to QC Kinetics. And here's the kicker. Your first consultation with them is totally free. You go in there and you find out if it's right for you. They're in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury, so the chances are it's close to you as well. You have zero to lose. It's about long-lasting pain relief without surgery, without drugs, and without downtime. And the sooner you get started, the better it is for your long-term health. Give them a call. And again, it's a new number here, 860-850-2682. Again, it's 860-850-2682 for QC Kinetics. Make your appointment for that first consultation, which is totally free. 860-850-2682. Call QC Kinetics today.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, now we are back. And so over the weekend, I was having a few conversations with some people involved in the Mimi Torres story. And if you follow me on Facebook and even on X, you probably know that there has been some news that has been broken as it relates to the young woman who was the imposter of Mimi Torres that DCF engaged with. So for those of you who have missed this story, been under a rock, totally understand. You may have forgotten a lot about this story, but excuse me, Jacqueline Mimi Torres was an 11-year-old girl who died of starvation and abuse by the hands of her mother, Carla. Her mother, Carla's sister or aunt of Mimi Torres, and Carla's boyfriend or estranged boyfriend, Jonathan. This story gets really, really crazy. There's so many details that I can talk about, but others that I cannot. Let me just say this. There was a lot of kidnapping in this story. And not of Mimi. Grown people. And when I say there was kidnappings, like people were being held at gunpoint and driven all over the city. Now, there are people who are listening going, how does he know that? I have my ways. I also know why Jonathan showed up at court tuned up. That's how they say it in the hood or in the police. Tuned up means his face was all beaten. That didn't come from police. I know who that came from, too. But let me get down to sort of the brass tacks of all this. Let's get to the important stuff, and then we'll throw all the other craziness out in the latter part of this hour. Let's start with the good stuff. So we were told by the courts, or at least by the news media, that they could not release the name of the young lady who posed as Mimi Torres. She was in the courtroom last week. The news media saw her. The news media got her name. Something weird just happened to me. Excuse me. The news media knew who she was. The news media knew she had a Facebook page. They found it. I got a hold of that information. Adam 12 found out even more information and got that to me. Here's that information. While the judge was telling the news media that they could not film, photograph, or release the name of the young woman who posed as Mimi Torres, the woman who was posing as Mimi Torres was on Facebook telling her story. In essence, offering it up to the world. Why? Because someone in the courtroom found her Facebook page and immediately attacked her by saying, what you did was wrong, you belong in jail as well. Some of that argument is correct. The young woman does belong in jail. Why? Because what she committed was a felony. DCF was interviewing what they thought was Mimi, and because she came and imposed as her, DCF was under the impression that she was safe and secure, closed her case while she was dead. She aided and abetted after the fact. We looked it up. It is a felony. It can be charged as a felony. We understand that she will not be charged because the prosecutor has given her a deal. Yes, prosecutors, we know that too. Some people can't stop talking about it, to be honest with you. So much for keeping it under wraps. Now, one of the questions that was asked, and I'm still trying to get an answer to, is did the individual, this young woman, ever ask, why are you asking me to impersonate an 11-year-old girl, a girl half my age? She was 21 at the time. That's a good question to ask, yet we do not have an answer to it. Who got her to do it? We do understand that there were other family members, maybe her mother and another person who influenced her to pose as Mimi. Let me explain this to you. It is alleged that the individuals who asked this young lady to pose as Mimi, it is alleged that those individuals knew Mimi was dead. That is the allegation, is that the individuals who had this young lady pretend to be Mimi were already aware of Mimi's condition or lack thereof. Also, we know that the individual posing as Mimi did so successfully by doing two things. You're going to all have to sit down for this one. A 10-year veteran of the DCF did a video conference with a woman she thought was an 11-year-old girl. How the 21-year-old girl pulled it off was this. I simply lightened my voice and put my hair in pigtails. The DCF officer or the agent asked, how is it in Virginia? And are you making any friends? There was nothing like of an investigation, if you will, ever done. Not like prove who you are, what's your social security number, nothing along those lines. Not that Mimi would know those numbers, but you know the deal. Nothing, at least like an investigation into making sure that this person was the person. It was very lighthearted and very short. Hey, hi, Mimi, how are you? Fine. Okay, you enjoying yourselves in Virginia? Yes. Are you making any new friends down there? Yes. Okay. That video conference was led to believe by the agent taking place in a town called Hampton, Virginia. It was in Connecticut. We do know that sitting next to her was Carla, Mimi's mom, with a notepad pretty much coaching her on how she should answer certain questions, like what's the date of birth of her siblings and things of that nature. She had that all in the ready. So in the event that she got stumped, she had something to go on. But the investigation never went that far. Turns out DCF just looked at the girl and said, okay, we buy it. Pigtails and light voices. That's where we are. That's how we got there. I might as well get into the dirty stuff. Police did not find the body. We know that. The whereabouts of Mimi happened because certain individuals coerced the information out of individuals. First, the mother, who did not help. Then the boyfriend, who did. There are a lot of lies going on by certain individuals who have been featured in the news media. I'm not going to say any names, WFSB. Certain individuals in the news media are saying that someone, Jonathan, that's actually who it was, that Jonathan was saying certain things about knowing where a dead body was, and this led people to think that what he was talking about, saying, what's he talking about, making them want to investigate it, and then ask him more questions, and then cornering him into it. That's not how it happened at all, even though the news media is being told that that's how it happened. In essence, that Jonathan either drugged up or, having a guilty conscience about something, was sort of nudging folks that, I may have done something wrong. He got drunk and he was revealing stuff, is absolutely nonsense. All of it. That is not how it happened, but there were certain individuals who were telling that story to the news media. And you might be asking yourself, why would they offer that up? Well, Reese on the Radio is going to tell you. It is because it is believed, in fact, it has been reported in several other places, that more people knew about the conditions of Mimi than those who are letting on. That this is not isolated to the mother, to the aunt, and to the boyfriend. That there are several others who are well aware. The investigation continues. I know that there are some people who want nothing to do with what I'm revealing here now, but I'm telling you that this is not as cut and dry is what Len Bestoff is reporting. And nothing against the guy. But Len is getting stories from the courtroom and from the police. These stories are coming directly from individuals who know people in the hood, which is why, and I'm going to say this to NBC, WTNH, and everybody else, get in the street. Stop having the news being hand-delivered to you by people who, let's just say, are not giving you the full story. It is strange that the news media has not revealed text messages that Carla has sent to individuals about her case. Like a few text messages where Carla talks about what she would say to Mimi today, or about what life is like in jail, or her telling people to tell another individual to delete the text messages that she is exchanging with another person. I'll say it again. Carla, in text messages that were released, is Carla, Mimi's mom, telling a person to tell another person to delete their text exchanges while they are in jail, while she is in jail. Why? Because these text messages allegedly reveal a plot in the courtroom. I'll explain that to you later. But I will say this before I even go to commercial. I've seen some dirty things. I've heard some horrible stories about people doing some really, really reprehensible stuff. But let me tell you, folks, these individuals, and look, if you're listening to my voice, don't take it personal if it's not you, but if it's you, yeah, take it personal. You'll reveal yourself. You can't help yourself. You're a bunch of egomaniacs who are looking for clout. You have to make it about you. So if you feel like I'm talking about you and, you want to get froggy, get froggy. But the bottom line is that the people who are involved in this are absolute scum. I mean, the worst kind of scum. Because I've seen these people on camera. Fake tears, crying, for some odd reason, seem to know everything. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I knew them. Yeah, sometimes they did this and they said, I watched all the videos of people coming up and all of a sudden they know everything. Knew nothing for a whole year. Baby missing. Nobody's running around. Where were the police reports? Everybody knew something was weird. We didn't see her in the neighborhood. We hadn't kept in touch with them. Not one person is running around with a missing sign for Mimi Torres. But now when they found her body, yeah, I was, and I did, and I seen it. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, how does somebody not look at you as scum? We're doing our best to get the imposter on the program. She wants to clear her name. She wants to do everything she can to clear her name because she is shouting off air. I think she just deleted her Facebook page, I think the day before yesterday, maybe Saturday or Sunday. It's got to be Saturday. She deleted her Facebook page because people found out her name. They were in court. And they spread her name around like, maniacs. People found her on Facebook, and they were just going after her. You're a horrible person. How could you do this? How could you not ask us? She wants to clear her name. Well, I sent word out that said, hey, if she wants to clear her name, we'd love to have her here in studio to talk about it. I don't know why the judge doesn't make sense to me, and neither does the prosecution make sense here. People saying that, there needs to be justice for Mimi, I think that it would leave no stone unturned. They're not. And if this woman is a material witness, she should be a material witness in the sense of, like, you're giving her immunity for her testimony. But what is she offering up? If she's telling everybody, I didn't know that Mimi was dead, what could she offer other than an expose into how ridiculous the process was for DCF? I mean, if I'm going to hold her over for anything, it's an investigation in the DCF on how this 21-year-old just gave birth young woman was able to convince a DCF agent who was assigned to Mimi Torres how she was able to pull the wool over her eyes. She would be a material witness in that, but yet we're going to have we're literally giving her immunity for something she adds no value to. She can't point anybody out. The person who assisted her, the person who gave her the information on how she could dupe DCF was Carla. Now, unless she's there as a material witness to Carla, but she can't even offer up that Carla told her why she needed to do it. She can't even offer up the whole idea. It was like, well, I did it because Carla told me that Mimi has a tendency to say stuff that gets us in trouble. Okay? She doesn't even have that to offer. She doesn't even say to her why Mimi can't do it. But she does tell her this. The reason why she needs her to impersonate her daughter is so Carla doesn't lose custody of her children. And that sparked no red flags. Now, look, this is one of those points where I tell everybody, don't armchair quarterback, but ask yourself this question. If you had been asked to impersonate someone else's relative, not even as a child, just as a grown-up, if one of your buddies walked up to you and says, hey, listen, I need you to impersonate my brother. To whom? And why? Where's your brother? Natural question. That's what I want to know. I want to know from this young lady, and hopefully we'll get it. In fact, I'm going to see if I can call this guy during the break, see if we can get some word on it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get her here. When we come back, I'll tell you about the incredible plot by Carla and other alleged co-conspirators that I told you about at the beginning of this case. So stand by for that. When we return, it's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcasts.
I can't get the signal. Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now you can hear us on the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and the TuneIn app. So pick your favorite and search and follow WTIC News Talk 1080 in the app. Then listen wherever you are. It's really that easy. So no more, I can't get the signal. We've made it easy. WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A man accused of shooting and killing a motel attendant in an argument over a pool pass price has been convicted of murder. It was June of 2021 that Alvin Waugh and the attendant, Zeshan Chowdhury, got into an argument at a Motel 6. When Chowdhury threw Waugh out, the suspect went to his room, retrieved a homemade semi-automatic pistol, and shot Chowdhury 12 times. Waugh will be sentenced in June. Disturbing find in the city of New London. Police say a dog was found dead over the weekend in a trash bag Officers say they were alerted by a motorist to the find on Gallows Lane and Williams Street. The canine is a male, compact, toy-like dog. Anyone with any information is being asked to get in touch with the New London Animal Control. Authorities in Arizona say they've got a crime investigation on their hands. The mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie has been missing since the weekend. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen near her home in Tucson on Saturday. Police in North Haven investigating an armed robbery say a man was robbed at gunpoint, had his BMW stolen from an apartment complex on Hartford Turnpike Sunday evening. No injuries were reported. And President Trump says he will move to close D.C.'s Kennedy Center performing arts venue for 2 years, starting in June for construction. WTIC News Time 3:31. Here's the forecast.
Breezy the rest of this afternoon, but not as cold as recent days. Staying mainly clear, low near 35. Clear tonight, bitterly cold once again overnight. Watch for icy spots, low 1 below 0. A good deal of sunshine tomorrow, high 32. Becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow night, very cold once again, low 6. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high of 31 degrees. And for Thursday, a good deal of sunshine and continued cold with an afternoon high of 29. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 519 points. The NASDAQ is ahead 136, and the S&P's up 41. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
We've heard it all before. Change is inevitable. Hi, I'm Sandy Terenzi with the Livian team. Whether you're right-sizing, downsizing, or handling a family estate, we're here to make it easy. Right, Mike?
Exactly. And with change often comes challenges. But with decades of local experience, we know how to price, market, and sell without the stress.
Trust the team Connecticut families have relied on for years. Call 860-855-SOLD today. That's 860-855-SOLD and ask for me, Sandy Terenzi.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Today, everyone turns to the internet to search for things, but the number one thing you can never find online is great customer service. Well, your search is over with a visit to Modern Plumbing. Whether you're building or remodeling, you're going to have questions. So why not shop where you can get the knowledge you've been craving? Great pricing, great selections, and most importantly, great customer service. Modern Plumbing, showroom and parts counter on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by LendSeek.
Memory chip makers are basking in the glow of high demand and low supplies. RBC Capital Markets is forecasting that semiconductor revenue resulting from artificial intelligence applications will more than double from $220 billion in 2025 to more than $550 billion in 2028. The investment firm says that infrastructure constraints could wind up delaying some massive projects. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up.
Cash flow, tariffs, payroll, taxes. Every day starts with a full plate.
So you got ahead of it.
Had to. That's why I checked out LendSeek.
How was the process?
It was simple. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding options. Fast, clear, and no games.
Any upfront costs?
None. Zero out of pocket. No prepayment penalties either. Up to $5 million. With funding in as fast as 24 hours.
Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
Like I said before, Ryan Fazio is going to join the show in the 5 o'clock hour. Make sure you tune in for that because I've got an important question to ask him, which is I will then ask the other candidates as well. I talked to some people, and I think this question is worth asking Ryan Fazio. So stay tuned for that. Roughly at about 5:10, he'll be on the program. So if you have to break away, come on back. What is the other thing that I want to... Oh, yeah, we'll talk about Jonathan Nietes. I guess that's his last name from the Mimi Torres story. I'll talk to you about what the underlying strategy was and still is in a lot of ways. When it comes to him and this story. Also, I've got this list sitting in my hand, which is very funny because it only proves something I've been saying a long time ago about my good friend. You know who he is. We'll talk about that as well. Also on the program, we've got freedoms. I have to talk about that. We'll talk about the Grammys. That's important. What was the other thing that I had here? Oh, stupidest thing I read today is a good one. We'll get into that as well. And plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. So this story, real quick, is really, really shameful in the sense of the responsibility for this young lady's death. And an 11-year-old girl starved to death where we know that she was zip-tied and made to sleep on wee-wee pads like an animal. And we know this to be true because there's a photograph of it, which shows you exactly how treacherous these individuals are, that they would take that photograph and have that on their phone. The fact that that didn't deter anybody to fight for her is also pretty despicable. But with all of that, we know that this case, as of late, has been hinging on Jonathan. and what's going on there. Because, one, his case is going first, and that may have been a screw-up by the prosecutor, as well as the mother, Carla, and her cohorts. Because if you watch the WFSB episode, there was a young woman who's featured in that piece where she's talking to the reporter at WFSB. The young woman's name is Yaxi Garcia, I believe. And in that piece, she says, I was the one who shouted in the courtroom and said, bleep you, you baby killer. And she's bragging about the fact that she disrupted the court hearing saying that. And I told you guys, when I watch the news, I don't say this to pat myself on the back. I'm no brilliant guy. I'm no Sherlock Holmes, for crying out loud. Just certain things, they dig at me when I see them. And before Yaxi, if that's how I pronounce her name, before she said that on the WFSB piece, I was watching that courtroom and was listening and heard it when it happened. And I said, wait a minute, the details of this story don't allege that. Why did somebody shout that in the crowd? Why were they screaming, you're a baby killer? And I immediately told Adam 12, I immediately told Sam the Man, I told Roseanne. You don't do that unless you are trying to create a narrative in the courtroom. There's no evidence that suggests that Jonathan killed this girl. The only thing we know is that he dumped the body. We know that. It has been believed since the get-go. Every bit of information we had was that Carla and her aunt, in essence, were the ones who were starving her, who were zip-tying her, trying to keep her from running away, which she chronically did. So this shouting that was done by Yaxi didn't jive with me. Something felt off. So we looked into it, and we had been for a while. Well, according to text messages, it is alleged that that strategy was going on all along. That Carla's strategy was to say that Jonathan was abusing her and the children, particularly Mimi. And the objective was to get Carla off. They were going to pin it on him. And that was always the case. But now that has all but been foiled because Jonathan is putting his case out there first. The prosecutor really doesn't have a leg to stand on unless, of course, they can. And Jonathan has pretty much given up the goods. He has openly admitted, no way did I do this. And yes, I was told it was done. And yes, I tried to perform CPR. And he has the Miranda or Connecticut versus Miranda case that may get him limited time. In essence, he won't be charged with murder. Even though others are trying to suggest, no, it's all him. No, they're going to try that. But I think that strategy is all but busted. Why do I say any of this if indeed the strategy is busted? It's not about that. It is about how horrible these people are. I mean, you want to talk about how reprehensible these people are. If I'm to believe what I'm being told, or hell, what I'm seeing, I can't even say it's what I'm being told. I'm actually reading it. And I'm actually reading it out of the words of the people who are involved. If I'm going to believe what I'm reading here, is that it's not just how horrible it is that they would be responsible for starving a little girl to death, is that they would actually get together and try to pin it on another person who's incredibly innocent. Not innocent of no wrongdoing. I mean, Jonathan did indeed dump the body. He aided and abetted after the fact. No, it is not murder. I agree. But you got to pay a price for that. The role you played after the fact. You didn't come and reveal it to police. You tried to spare her mother, or maybe she convinced you. I don't know how indeed someone would. I don't even know how anyone would. That's just a difficult thing. I don't know. If Roseanne had come to me and tell me she had committed some heinous act, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. And I'm going to say, you know, if it involves your children, I think everybody here knows the answer to that. That's like, I'm sorry, baby, you got to go. I mean, it's just that simple. I can't. Which is why, again, this just seems so, it's just so ugly. But I really don't think, like deep down, I can't have any empathy or any sympathy for the individuals who are charged. Any of them. Jonathan, at that moment when he realizes that she's dead, he tries to give her CPR. If all of that is true, and at that one moment where you can say, I've got to call the police, or we've got to call somebody. Once you don't do that and you go in the other direction and you, all right, let's scoop up the body. Whoop, wrong side of this one. And that way, and on that, you got to go. Now, you can't be charged. I'm still sitting up here saying you can't charge him for the crazy stuff, right? Clearly, if indeed he's telling the truth, he didn't know anything about her dying. If he knew about the torture, and the torture is that she's being zip-tied, you might have to get him for that too, because he did nothing to help that child. She's an 11-year-old child. If you are not down there fighting for that, especially as a member of the family and the patriarch of that family, and you don't protect that little girl from being zip-tied, and you don't step up and be like, and you know DCF is showing up, you know the police is showing up, and you're like, which again just goes to the nature of all of this. It's like there's not one person who finds it within them to do the right thing. Like you see this, you look at that little girl, you see that picture, the smile on her face, and not one person said to themselves, do the right thing. Worse off than that, how about this? She used to be happy with her grandparents, and someone was angry enough, jealous enough, and spiteful enough to drag her out of a home she had been since childhood, which, by the way, runs right into this whole nonsense about the only place these immigrants have known defense. Here's a little girl, not that she was an immigrant, but you know my meaning. Here is a little girl who was with that family since the time she was a baby. And then, 6, 7 years old, they pick her up and they move her and they put her in the most dangerous situation. And for no one to sit by her, like, again, with that. Carla allegedly wrote in a text message, if I could talk to Mimi now, she says, or it's alleged that she says it, I would tell her that I'm sorry. I would tell her that I wish that I was a better mother, but I was going through so many mental problems. I'll say. But yeah, I read these alleged text messages. It's too bad we don't have the death penalty in Connecticut. It's kind of too bad. I feel bad about that. Anyway, when we come back, we'll have traffic and weather. Mark Christopher, and I've got this list that you do not want to miss of where people stand in the 2028 election. There are 18 people who made the list. And it's where my best friend Chris Murphy lands that's got me overjoyed. You do not want to miss this. Stick around. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
180 degrees from I can't lose weight.
180 degrees from I don't dance anymore.
180 degrees from yo-yo diets.
Awaken 180 weight loss is 180 degrees from a quick fix gimmick or synthetic hormone shots. It's a premium program for awakening your own hormones naturally. Call 877-239-4180 now to find out how adults lose an average of 2 to 4 pounds per week. No starvation, no crazy exercise, no quitting steak, dining out, or a cocktail. Just personalized, science-based nutrition, where our food is completely customizable and our one-to-one lifelong coaching is there to help you for life. Call 877-239-4180 now or visit awaken180weightloss.com and see why there's a 98% satisfaction rating.
180 degrees from the old me.
That's 877-239-4180. Awaken 180. Awaken for life.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. And don't forget, we got Ryan Fazio joining the show after 5 o'clock today. We'll talk about his new plan to reduce electricity bills. We'll talk to him for a couple of minutes here on the program. Plus, I've got an important question to ask him. He will be the first person I ask. And I'm, of course, because I'll be asking him, I've informed the other candidates to be listening to the program, and they can reach out and answer it as well. This is it's a pretty important question, and I think they would all be interested in answering it. So stand by for that. That's happening in a little more than an hour. So there was a list that was compiled of Democrat contenders for 2028. This goes on all the time. And usually it's done very early. Some people go, it's like, wow, we just had the election. What are we doing it this early for? Doesn't matter. Politics are a yesterday sport. What I mean, it started yesterday. That's the way they work. And they will start gearing up for the person to fight that campaign, because even though people care on the day of, you have to build a momentum coming up. And it's a long, long, long hill. It's about 45 degrees, sometimes even taller. So the contenders come out very early. And you already know who they are. So I thought about going, last to first. But in this case, I've got to go first to last. Just because, it's just so much sweeter doing it that way. So the list goes, number 1, Gavin Newsom. Number 2, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Number 3, Pete Buttigieg, or as Joe Biden likes to call him, Booty Juice. Number 5, Ruben Gallo, the senator out of Arizona. This is Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania. Josh Shapiro, by the way. The Jewish Obama, as they call him. Number 7, Baltimore governor, or Maryland governor, Wes Moore. 8, Kamala Harris. That's never a good sign. 9, Cory Booker. 10, Raphael Warnock. By the way, if you notice on this list that we went from white, Latino, white, oh, Gretchen Whitmer's number 4, I apologize. Latino, Shapiro, Wes Moore, 7, first black guy. And then number 8, and then Cory Booker. So 7, 8, and 9, and 10, all black. So when you got Wes Moore, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Raphael Warnock. Ossoff, also out of Georgia. Mark Kelly, that's Obama's pick. He's at 12. Jon Stewart, Comedy Central. Yes, he is number 13. J.B. Pritzker, number 14. Andy Bashir, number 15. Ro Khanna, number 16. Amy Klobuchar, number 17. And last but not least on the list is our good friend, Christopher, or as I like to call him, Christoph Murphy. All the fundraising, all the touring, even the book release, 0. I keep saying to everyone that this guy's got the charisma of pocket lint. And I love being right every time. I love the failure of his campaign. It is beautiful to watch. Dead last, Andy Bashir, Raphael Warnock, Jon Ossoff. No one even knows who these people are. And Chris Murphy, who's on television 9 times more than these guys, are doing better in the polls than him. Oh, it's so awful. Ruben Gallo. It's just awful. I'm so happy. So pleased. Congratulations, Chris. You deserve it, sir. Good luck with the book. Let's get our first check in traffic and weather. Mark Christopher, he's holding you down. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark. Eventually. He must be just wrapping up. I don't think so. I didn't get any memo that he was out. Why? Is it Tom O'Hanlon, maybe? Nope. Okay. All right, well, we'll get the weather nonetheless. We'll see.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures officially climbed above the freezing mark this afternoon for the first time since January 23rd, but overall, cold weather will continue this week. For the rest of this afternoon, breezy but not as cold as it's been, staying mostly clear, high near 35, turning bitterly cold once again tonight, clear, low 1 below 0. Watch for icy spots tonight and early tomorrow. We'll see Sunday tomorrow, high 32, and again very cold tomorrow night, increasing cloudiness with a low of 6. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 31 degrees, and then for Thursday, mostly sunny and cold, high 29. For Friday, sunshine keeping way to clouds, and there could be some snow in the afternoon and at night. Friday's high 26, very cold Friday night, drop you to a low of 7. Bitterly cold as we start the weekend. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine on Saturday. Windy with a high of only 11 degrees. Temperatures will likely drop below 0 across the area Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump is urging lawmakers to pass a funding measure soon to end the partial government shutdown. Correspondent Stacey Lynn reports.
President Trump is urging Congress to pass the legislation without changes. In a post on Truth Social, he said the House should send the Senate-approved deal to his desk without delay, and he would sign it immediately. Some House Republicans want to attach the SAVE Act to the bill, which would require proof of citizenship to register to vote. Trump said that issue can be addressed later, stressing a shutdown would harm both parties and the country. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
Many Connecticut nonprofits say they've had to cut back services in the face of federal cuts and state funding that has fallen short. That's why they are asking lawmakers for help during the upcoming session. Alicia Gaduti is the CEO of Edelbrook, which serves young people with autism spectrum disorders and other challenges.
Our staff are our quiet heroes in the state. They provide hope, love, help, and access to vital services. And they should be honored for that commitment to service. So we're asking that funding be allocated at levels that truly recognize the contributions of community providers.
Nonprofits are asking the state to protect social services where the federal government is not. The Hennepin County medical examiner says Alex Preddy died from multiple gunshot wounds and his death has been deemed a homicide. Preddy was shot during an altercation with ICE officers in Minneapolis 1 week ago Saturday. The officers were in the area because they were looking for a 41-year-old Ecuadorian immigrant named Jose Huerta Chuma. Correspondent Camilo Montoya Galvez spoke with Huerta Chuma, who said he was in hiding, but he saw the officers fatally shoot Preddy.
He's still in hiding. I should underscore, he did not reveal to us his whereabouts, so we're not disclosing that because we just don't know where he is. But he remains on the loose, and the Department of Homeland Security is still actively looking for him.
Hartford man accused of killing a motel attendant nearly 5 years ago has been found guilty of murder. It was June 27, 2021, that Alvin Wah got into an argument over the price of a swimming pool pass at a Motel 6 in Vernon. The attendant, Zeshan Chowdhury, told Wah to leave. That's when Wah returned to his room, retrieved a homemade semi-automatic pistol, and fired 11 shots into Chowdhury before he fled on foot. In addition to murder, Wah is also guilty of carrying a pistol without a permit. He'll be sentenced in Rockville on April 10th. A coalition of parents and students is getting behind a proposal to pass so-called phone-free schools legislation this session. The group made up of the Connecticut Education Association, American Federation of Teachers, and others. CEA Vice President Jocelyn Delancey says some school districts that have already gone this route report success.
Notice that their students are more engaged academically, that socially they're interacting differently in a more positive way, that the students actually feel better about not having the cell phone device in front of them all the time and not having access to it.
Phone-free CT would like legislators to consider the bell-to-bell phone-free environment in all grades and in all public schools. With use of yonder pouches or something equivalent, General Assembly reconvenes for the 2026 session on Wednesday. Well, Drake May and Sam Darnold will face a different type of blitz at Super Bowl opening night. Here comes the media frenzy. Thousands of reporters and non-reporters from across the globe gather for a zany spectacle kicking off the festivities tonight. May and the Patriots take on Darnold and the Seahawks Sunday at Levi's Stadium. First, they'll meet with more than 6,000 credentialed reporters who will pepper them with questions ranging from the standard football topics to the silly and often offbeat. On Wall Street, the Dow up 515 points, NASDAQ up 130, S&P ahead 37. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case costs. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Stupidest thing I read today coming up. Stand by for that. As well, on tomorrow's program at 4 o'clock, we're going to talk to Brad Brandon. He is a columnist for the Washington Times, the Daily Wire, and the Christian Post. He has a website that I want to cite here to find out more about him, and that website is acrossnigeria.org. And so what Brad is doing is lobbying Congress to fight the genocide of Christians in Nigeria, a story that many of you heard about in the news. It's somewhat faded. And he'll talk here about the efforts there. He has found a lot of bipartisanship efforts to help him and assist him. He said something to me that I won't divulge, maybe, and I'm hoping something will come of it. But he said something to me that blew my mind because, and the only reason why I'm saying it now is because I would never think of this. But there are some people out there who you know and you love and you respect. And then you find out that even they kind of have a little bit of some special interest going on. And I was surprised that one of the guys he mentioned yesterday. It blew my mind. I know he said, it was like, why bring it up if you're not going to tell us? I'm just saying, this thing in Washington, let me tell you, man, Washington is a wild place. And I knew it when I moved there in 2012. I knew it. There was something about that place. I was just saying to myself, I'm from New York and nobody acts like this. Washington is crazy. It's dirty. And when I say dirty, it's like vile, vicious, and crazy. The way these people talk and demand stuff. I've never seen, I've been around Hollywood actors and actresses and people in the music industry. Never like the people in Washington. Boy, they treat you like nothing. It's just wild. But anyway, so goes it. Anyway, let's get another check of weather and traffic. Did we make sure he's there? I'm sure he's there. Let's get to him. Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
Sorry, I had the had the wrong station.
No reason to apologize, man. I'm just making sure you were here.
You know, it's weird because I'm just clicking through cameras. And I look up, I go, oh. Then I heard the weather. I'm like, the wrong station up.
No biggie, buddy.
The cold is definitely getting to me.
And it's Mondays, man.
Yeah. Here we go. Exactly. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, you've got delays 33 down to 32A and B. If you are traveling westbound 84, you're tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound, slowing 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Easy ride 291 through 84, 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, Waterbury 84 westbound's a little slow approaching the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Easy ride 91 to the Parkway heading down in toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunny, breezy, and cold the rest of today, though not as cold as recent days. Many areas have now made it just above freezing, a high close to 35, but bitterly cold weather returns tonight. A clear sky, a low of 1 below zero. Sunday tomorrow, cold, high 32. Increasing clouds tomorrow night. Another cold night, low 6. Turning out partly sunny on Wednesday with a high of 31. It's currently 31 degrees at Bristol. It's 32 in Plainville and above freezing at 33 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080. Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on NewsTalk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
If you've been injured, you deserve more than what the insurance company offers you or thinks you're worth. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. People who hire an attorney get 3 times more on average compared to what big insurance offers them. Their job is to get you to take less. Ours is to get you more. If you've been injured, call the Carter Mario Law Firm at 877-GET-CARTER or head to getcarter.com to get more.
Let's be honest. The hearing aid industry is broken. Overpriced clinics, pushy appointments, bills of $5,000 or more. That's the trap they hope you fall into. Don't let it happen. Audion Hearing is the escape. Their FDA-registered hearing aids cost just a fraction of the big brands, starting at only $98. Instead of paying as much as $5,000 plus all the doctor appointments and wasted time, you get what you need with no prescriptions, no office visits, no time wasted, and no crazy price tag. Call 800-700-HEAR. That's HEAR. Audion's cutting-edge devices are rechargeable, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. Try them risk-free for 45 days with lifetime support and real human help just a phone call away. Over 1 million people have already said yes to Audion Hearing. Join them. Don't let them take advantage of you. Break free from the trap. Call now 800-700-HEAR. That's HEAR for a very special offer. 800-700-HEAR or 800-700-4327.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I don't know if any of you watch the Grammys. Roland, how about you? You watch the Grammys at all? Was that your thing? A little bit, not much. Did you watch online or watch? Well, where was it? Was it live broadcast on CBS like it always is? Okay. So I totally get people who watch that. If you're into the music scene, you would check out the Grammys. A lot of us, we old school heads, we don't really check for the Grammys anymore because, you know, their music is their music. We're not all that into it. And I get those of you who are not. I'm like you. I wouldn't know one of these songs unless I was forced to listen to it, you know, in a department store that Roseanne made me go to. So I don't really check for it like that. And then that being said, you know, hey, to each his own. Have a blast if you do that thing. But last night, this theme about, you know, Ice Out and F-Ice and other stuff notwithstanding, we'll get into in music news. I want to talk about something that I saw in a backlash to something Donald Trump said about the host. But I think we need to establish a few truths here. And if you are saying to yourself, why would Donald Trump even inject himself into the Grammys? Let me give you a sort of refresher as to why. But I want to start with some basic truths on the left. Epstein, bad, right? Jeffrey Epstein, bad. Epstein files, bad. We've established that, right? Donald Trump, scared to death of them, right? Yes. You think he's afraid of them because he's in them, right? Yes. And again, the purpose of you saying that he's in them is because if anyone finds out that will destroy his reputation, his followers will clearly be reprobates. They would not be listened to, believed, or considered, you know, reasonable individuals because they would obviously defend him. And you can't defend on somebody who was aligned with the actions of a Jeffrey Epstein. So being associated with Jeffrey Epstein would not only mean that you had done these horrible things, but if it could be proven under the law, said individuals should be tried, convicted, and sent to prison. Right? That's an established fact. Good. Good. I don't think there's any person who would dispute it. Okay? Good. We've established that. Let's let that be the premise of all of this. Now let's work our way down. Donald Trump said that Trevor Noah, the host of the Grammys, was a has-been nobody who is a failed comedian. The left immediately responded by saying, no, Donald Trump, Trevor Noah is a loved and respected comedian, hence why he is on the Grammy broadcast, the biggest night on television for music, as its host. He is established, well-known, and popular. Okay, you win that round. Absolutely. Donald Trump also said the Grammy Awards are low-rated. No one's even watching them. To which you counter, no, not true. Several people watched outside of the broadcast and watched online. In fact, streaming numbers were in the tens of millions outside of regular broadcast numbers. Wow, okay, great argument. Fair. So millions of people were watching, and Trevor Noah is popular. Good. All of these are basic truths. So now to the argument of why Donald Trump would sue Trevor Noah. I give you my first 3 points. If somebody is accused of doing something with Jeffrey Epstein, then in fact, they are a reprobate who should be brought to justice and be, put underneath the jail. Trevor Noah is a popular host and well-respected. And the Grammys were watched by tens of millions of people. So when Jeffrey Epstein is invoked by Trevor Noah and suggesting that the President of the United States was on the island when he wasn't, and there's no evidence to support that, it would be righteous for the President of the United States to sue him. Because again, it's a bad thing to be associated with the Epstein files. Trevor Noah is a respected member of the entertainment community, and tens of millions of people were watching it as he made a false claim about the President of the United States. Are you going to tell me now it was a joke? Are you sure? Are you sure you're going to tell me that it was just a joke? I don't think so. All of these things are established truths. Now, I keep trying to explain to you folks that this is how it's done. You let the left set the table. They wish to. They want to be in charge of everything. The culture dynamic, how we see the world, how the world is to be viewed, and how we're supposed to navigate through it. Sure, let them set the table. And in this case, they have. Right? So when Donald Trump responds by saying, okay, I'll sue you. You said I was on Epstein's island? Sure. Let's go to court. I want millions from you. Now all that nonsense about what Donald Trump said about people watching the Grammys, all of a sudden you flip it. Well, it wasn't that many people watching it. Then they'll start flipping. Trevor Noah's not that known. He's just a comedian. They'll start to back up. No. You folks were online defending Trevor Noah, saying that he was this, that, and the third. You're saying that he's the most popular. He's the most well-respected. Well, fine. If he's well-respected and world-renowned, and the Grammys were watched by tens of millions of dollars, then it's fair to say that the president's name was indeed slandered. He was accused of a crime that he did not commit. And now, by the way, something that you've all been alleging for the longest, right? Because that's what you're saying on the news media. Donald Trump is distracting with Venezuela because of the Epstein files. Donald Trump stubbed his nose because he's distracting from the Epstein files. Melania has a documentary out to distract from the Epstein files because he's on them, because he was involved in a very public sex ring with children, and he's distracting us. Okay, fine. So nobody should have a problem with Donald Trump suing Trevor Noah, or anyone for that matter who says that he was on Epstein Island, right? Because, of course, there would have to be discovery, right? Donald Trump would have to disclose exactly where he was when it's alleged that he was supposed to be there. So if you're going to keep saying that he was there, if you're going to keep saying that he was involved, sure, when these, and again, that's another important thing, because it kind of goes right into the Don Lemon thing, right? You believe in your own nonsense, in your own echo chamber. Trevor Noah watches CNN. Trevor Noah watches MSNBC. And those things are repeated on those networks over and over again, aren't they? They're said over and over again. It's a distraction because he's in the Epstein files. It's a distraction because he knows that he was aiding and abetting Jeffrey Epstein. That's what they were saying. That's what's being said. And Trevor Noah, who's of that ilk, he's from Comedy Central lore. And so it is well established within that circle that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files and may have very well committed a crime. So he gets on television in front of tens of millions of people as a well-respected member of the entertainment community and says that Donald Trump was on Epstein's Island. So Donald Trump says it's not true. But instead of me arguing with you in the public sphere, because you are more popular and more loved and respected than I am in that sphere, we're going to court. I ask and demand satisfaction. So don't give me any bupkis. I don't want to hear any whining about Donald Trump punching down. Trevor punched up. That's what he did. He punched up, and he made claims because he thought he was in a safe space. But people keep forgetting their cameras rolling when they do this. And according to you, tens of millions of people were watching it. So I hope he sues the pants off of him. I hope he takes every dime from him. I hope he makes that man so poor that he's got to return to South Africa. Why not? Go tell your corny jokes there. I want Donald Trump to sue him so badly that he takes all of his Grammy money, all of it, that he has to work in perpetuity at the Grammys every year. Trevor Noah telling more jokes to pay off Donald Trump. I want it all. Or Trevor Noah go out in public and say there's absolutely no truth to any of the comments that I made. That's what I would do. I'd shame him. I would do it a different way, though. I would do it, let me see. I would do it a la Denzel Washington in that scene in the movie Remember the Titans. Remember what he says to Bashir, the white kid who ends up being best friends with Wood Harris's character. Bashir is sort of like he's the one who ends up in the car accidents and Remember the Titans. But remember the scene when they're getting on the bus? Bashir walks up to Denzel Washington and he's telling him how the teams are going to be put together. And Denzel leans into him and he says, there's only one person here that's in charge of this football team. He goes, where are your parents? He points out his parents over there. He said, that's your mama? Yeah. Is that your daddy over there? He's like, so for these 2 weeks, there's only one person who's in charge of this team, and that person is your daddy. Now, who's your daddy? Bashir's like, you are, sir. That's right. That's right. I'm your daddy. And whose team is this? Is this your daddy's team? That's what I would tell Trevor. I would have a private conversation with him. I said, you listen to me, boy. You're going to get on that television. You're going to clean up that mess. And we're going to haul your behind back down to court. We're going to take everything. We're going to take future earnings if we have to. You'll be telling jokes for daddy your whole career. What's it going to be, boy? That's just me. I'm that cruel. Okay, I'll admit I've been that cruel. But that's what I would be. Just simply tell him, What was that you said? Grammy stage? Yeah, it was slick. You got a good laugh out of that. Okay? Here. You've been served. Yeah, $10 billion. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, the Jeffrey Epstein thing is a really, really important issue. Yeah, and I think when you say that, you accuse me of something like that, and of course in front of the Grammy folks as a joke, I think that, we clear the air. So what do you say, boy? We're going to go forward? Or are you going to issue an apology? No. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about it. I want you to talk to your celebrity friends and see if they'll lend you some money. See if any one of them got a couple $1 billion they can hand you. I see one of these organizations, maybe these networks that put you on TV. Maybe they'll cop a couple of dollars to you. Otherwise, you're going to get on that TV, boy, and you're going to tell the truth. That's how I would do it. In the hood, we call that sunning him. That's what Denzel Washington did to Bashir. He sunned him. Who's your daddy? Takes a special kind of person to do that. A lot of people can't. Donald Trump can do that. I don't think he would. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he would. But I would. And make him go out there. Tell the world. I would love to tell Donald Trump I am sorry. I disrespected him. And I was wrong. I wish to apologize to my daddy. Oh, that's what I would do. I'm sorry. I know I'm being mean. Somebody right now is calling me, and I know who she is too. She's calling me a mean person, right? She's calling me a bad word. Stop calling me that word. I'm just saying, anybody in his right mind would do it. Roland, am I wrong? You could get that guy and tell Trevor, get on TV and apologize to me, boy. You get on that TV tomorrow. You tell him you made a mistake, boy. You hear me? Yes, Daddy. Run along. Close my door. Tell your mama to bring me some chicken. I'm sorry. Let's get out of here. We'll be back. More news, more views. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of 91, a little slow by exit 36, Park Avenue again slowing 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Westbound 84 tied up, Bulkley Bridge out to 44, Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound losing a little speed from 46 into the tunnel. 291 eastbound's a little slow in the Bissell Bridge, looking good too eastbound Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks good, 84 and 8. 91 of the Parkway moving well toward New Haven. 95 South New Haven slows by exit 44 on the southbound side of 95. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures officially climbed above the freezing mark this afternoon for the first time since January 23rd, but overall, cold weather will continue this week for the rest of this afternoon. Breezy, but not as cold as it's been, staying mostly clear, high near 35, turning bitterly cold once again tonight, clear, low 1 below zero. Watch for icy spots tonight and early tomorrow. We'll see Sunday tomorrow, high 32, and again very cold tomorrow night, increasing cloudiness with a low of 6. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 31 degrees, and then for Thursday, mostly sunny and cold, high 29. For Friday, sunshine keeping way to clouds, and there could be some snow in the afternoon and at night. Friday's high 26, very cold Friday night, drop you to a low of 7. Bitterly cold as we start the weekend. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine on Saturday. Windy with a high of only 11 degrees. Temperatures will likely drop below zero across the area Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Mystic, Hamden, Putnam. When you want local news, turn to WTIC News Talk 1080, reporting on the local stories that affect you. From Manchester to Mystic, Hartford to Hampton, and Putnam to Plymouth, one radio station has your local news and breaking news as it happens. WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen on your radio, smart speaker, and on your phone with the free Odyssey app. And now, a WTIC News Update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Been an outbreak of norovirus at Quinnipiac University in Hamden. The school says cases were first reported in a residence hall last week. A statement to students suggests staying home if sick, keeping hydrated, and washing hands and surfaces frequently. Legislative session that begins in Connecticut on Wednesday will find community nonprofit providers and advocates calling for more funding. They met with lawmakers at the LOB today to push for more state support in the face of federal funding cuts. Authorities in Arizona say they have a crime investigation on their hands. The mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie has been missing since the weekend. The 84-year-old was last seen near her home in Tucson on Saturday. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he hopes the partial government shutdown will be a short one. Says the plan is to vote Tuesday. Agencies that are going without funding for now include DHS and Defense. The House Rules Committee is meeting on all this today. Police in North Haven on the lookout for a suspect in an armed robbery in town. They say a man was robbed at gunpoint, had his BMW stolen from an apartment complex on Hartford Turnpike. No injuries were reported. And President Trump says he'll move to close D.C.'s Kennedy Center performing arts venue for 2 years, starting in July for construction. Trump's announcement following a wave of cancellations by artists since he ousted the previous leadership and slapped his name on the building. Trump says funding has been lined up for the makeover. On Wall Street, the markets were up today considerably for the Dow, 515 points. NASDAQ gained 130, and the S&P picked up 37 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner from Money Wisdom. Want to learn ways to minimize taxes in retirement, protect your money against inflation and healthcare expenses, and develop a personalized income plan? Call 1-800-208-SAFE to get your free guide to maximizing retirement book. That's 800-208-7233 to get your free book today.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up.
Cash flow, tariffs, payroll, taxes, every day starts with a full plate.
So you got ahead of it.
Had to. That's why I checked out LendSeek.
How was the process?
It was simple. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding options. Fast, clear, and no games.
Any upfront costs?
None. Zero out of pocket. No prepayment penalties either. Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours.
Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This is what I was talking about earlier. This is it.
Trump is now threatening to sue Trevor Noah for a joke he made during the Grammys last night about the president's past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. How significant is that?
Yeah, and I know this might sound like a punchline, but this is real life. We should cue up the joke itself. Here's what Trevor Noah said when he was riffing with the audience during the Grammy Awards last night.
That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. So, I told you it's my last year. What are you going to do about it?
Having fun, telling a joke, but Trump has previously said he never visited that island off St. Bart's. He called the joke a, quote, defamatory statement. And in a post on True Social at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Time, Trump said, "It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC and suing him for plenty of dollars." That was the comment from the president overnight.
Yeah, boy. Now, yeah, again, see, this is the part that I always try to explain to people. It's like, you clearly don't understand how this works. It's not petty if the president responds to somebody being petty. Donald Trump's got nothing to do with the Grammys. Never won one, doesn't sing, doesn't put out music. President of the United States. Doesn't. But at the desperate need of trying to make it political or saying, "Hey, I've got a joke about Donald Trump. You guys want to hear it? Oh, yeah, tell it." Yeah. Well, that comes with some risks. That's how that happens. Clearly a joke, Brian Stelter says. Yeah, well, that's okay. And all that you guys getting upset about it, being ticked off, that's my favorite part. It's like everybody's having a debate about it on CNN. How Donald Trump plans on suing Trevor Noah for a joke we discuss. I'm like, discuss what? Well, is it right or is it wrong? But what are you talking about? Well, we're having a discussion about whether or not it's right or is it wrong. And I'm like, what this discussion is for what? Like, what is going to happen in court? Like, it's going to happen. What am I contributing to this? A conversation about what? Am I going to change public opinion? It doesn't matter what the public's opinion on this is. What matters is what a jury says between Trevor Noah and the President of the United States and his lawyers. That's what matters. What am I going to discuss it with you for? What, are we having a discussion about who's right? You really think that this is a discussion? No. I am going to sit back and eat my popcorn and watch this court case. And I'll watch Trevor Noah drag his behind in there for saying something that he shouldn't have said, no reason for it. And then cop a plea, like Don Lemon. Just like Don Lemon, which, by the way, I'll also get into in a minute. All right, stand by for that, as well as the stupidest thing I've read today. So we got that coming up as well. Don't forget, we've got Ryan Fazio running for governor. He will be here in a little more than a half an hour on the program. And then we got Brad Bradson, who's going to be on the program tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about him, or Brad Brandon, I should say, will be on the show tomorrow. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Sir?
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone. And this traffic report is being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. And if you're heading toward Hartford, southbound 91, look for some slow traffic, 36 to 35, again, 33 to 32 A and B. Westbound 84 slowing on the Bulkley Bridge out to 43 Park Road in West Hartford. 84 eastbound, barely a slowdown as you move 48 into the tunnel. Traveling into Middletown, that's quiet. Heading into Waterbury, also quiet. 91 on the Parkway, look good. South 95, New Haven, a little slow, 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic moves slow, but your transformation shouldn't. Columbia Implant Center provides full dental implants in just one visit. Open 7 days a week in Manchester to fit your busy lifestyle. Get your smile back today at ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear tonight, although it did make it above freezing for a short time this afternoon. It will become very cold once again, a low of 1 below zero. Mostly sunny and cold tomorrow, high 32. Increase in climate tomorrow night, quite cold, a low of 6 above. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 31, and mostly sunny, cold weather on Thursday with a high of 29. Right now, it is 31 degrees in Meriden. It's 32 in Berlin and 33 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meyer Grocery, or Wegmans.
My home is my happy place, but between pets and kids, my happy place has scuffs and dings. CertaPro painters came in and saved the day. They can level up your curb appeal on the outside of your home and get those hard-to-reach places on the inside, too. My team also made sure my cats didn't get out and they left my place spotless. Each CertaPro painter's business, independently owned and operated. Protect your home investment with quality painting from CertaPro painters. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We are back, and one of my favorite things to do on the program is this. You guys seem to like it too.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Stupidest thing I've read today is an oldie but goodie. A 33-year-old Darren was found slumped in the hallway of his house, bleeding from stab wounds to his chest. Police initially assumed that an assailant had attacked him, that someone had broken into his home, but they could find no supporting evidence. They checked and they checked and they checked, and they investigated and investigated and investigated. A year later, they realized exactly how Darren had died. It turns out that Darren stabbed himself with a knife. How did he do it? Well, his wife, who was on holiday at the time of the incident, remembered that Darren had once wondered out loud whether or not his new jacket, which he was found in, was stab-proof. That's right. Darren was alone and bored, and he decided, as the reporter puts it here, F around and find out if the jacket that he was wearing could withstand a knife attack from the Spanish steel blade of his knife. And sadly, the jacket armor proved not to be knife resistant, and he stabbed himself to death. I'm sorry, why am I laughing at this? I don't know why. Why is this funny? This isn't supposed to be funny. The poor man took his own life. Did you ever, you never heard of that, Roland, this Darwin Awards? Have you ever heard of that? Okay, it is the sickest and sadistic website known to man. It's a real thing. So apparently it's a website dedicated to people here like Darren. People who have died doing something stupid. And it is called, well, they give out an award for the Darwin, like the Darwin Award of the Year for this stupid act. And it is an entire litany of people who have done things like this. Stabbing themselves with the knife because they thought their jacket was stab-proof. I've seen these things online. I've seen people talk about them online, that there are jackets that are, that a knife won't go through. I don't know. I don't know if I would trust that. I just don't. Yeah. Whoa. You wouldn't do it yourself. Why? Out of embarrassment? Would you leave? Wait a minute. Would you put it up for someone else to do to you? I don't know what that means. No, okay. It's like you wouldn't do it yourself, nor would you let anybody do it to you.
Yeah, well,
like you wouldn't be wearing a jacket.
Somebody doing it to you is more likely to happen.
Yes, exactly.
So I just definitely wouldn't try it out for myself. I would take the jacket off, hold it up in the air, and see if it.
Put it on a crash test dummy, perhaps. Right?
Maybe a stuffed animal or something.
Yes, a stuffed animal. There you go. Stab the stuffed animal.
Let's see if it works. But then again, what's the point in having a stab-proof jacket?
I don't know. Apparently, I guess
it's not bulletproof. It's stab-proof.
No, it's stab-proof. Now, I can understand if somebody convinced him of this jacket by saying, hey, the town now and again can be, kind of hooligan filled. Hey, you're at a bar, somebody pulls out a switchblade on you. This is a great jacket to have. That kind of deal. I don't. Again,
how many times did he stab himself?
According to the report, several. Not a lot. Several. In fact, I think there were at least. Let me see here. I didn't even get to the bottom part of this because I'm laughing so hard.
There's no way you stab yourself more than once. If you try it one time and it goes through inside you, then
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Let me just be sure. Yeah, I think it was just once. Yeah. He just used a Spanish steel blade and did not bother to test the jacket while it was draped over the back of his chair. No, he thought that the best approach would be to wear the garment and then stab himself. Sadly, the jacket armor proved less resistant to a sharp blade than he had hoped. The coroner reached a verdict of accidental death by misadventure. Is what they called it.
A misadventure.
Misadventure.
That's
a great line.
Jumping off a cliff and
the
parachute don't work or something goes awry.
I didn't even know they had a thing. I thought it would just be an accidental death.
Misadventure.
A death by misadventure. Really?
Yikes. They got a word for everything.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Someone says, Mike, was it? Oh, John Beckman says, don't worry. There will be another Darren like on Bewitched. Excuse me. They did replace the Darren.
It's definitely not a funny matter, but it's...
It is. How do you not?
You can't laugh at somebody dying.
No, I don't. Look, I'm not. It's kind of weird, but it is the only time that I think, maybe I'm wrong. You tell me, folks. I think it is the only time that you can appropriately find humor because it's self-inflicted.
Yeah, I would say you can call him an idiot.
Yes.
But I wouldn't.
No, I never laugh at death, but there are some, the objective is, and here's the whole idea. It's sort of like the Darwin sort of angle to this is that like there's no other breed or species that sort of thins out the herd by its own stupidity. Like usually animals do that. The weakest ones die off because they are weak and stupid. And this is sort of a realm into that. People doing absolutely dumb things and ending their own life. Like through no fault of through only their own fault, they end up falling victim to this stupid act.
I got a crazy addiction to watch and it gives me big how you say it, anxiety.
Yes,
it gives me big anxiety, but for some reason I gotta keep watching, and that's the guys that jump from building to building with with no type of support or.
Oh, you mean the guys who do the acrobats who jump from
they'll flip out a window onto another roof.
I just watched that video.
They'll walk like on the edge of a big tall building, and
you are obsessed with that,
knowing you can fall off. But my heart is racing the whole time I'm watching it. I'm getting queasy, but for some reason I keep clicking on the next video.
So you are addicted to dangerous acts or feats like Daredevil type stuff.
I'm not addicted to it. I'm addicted to watching it.
Well, that's my meaning.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You don't want to do
even
it.
thinking about it,
but you're
makes
addicted
me
to watching
faint.
it. Do you? Okay, let me put it to you this way. Do you think psychologically you are hoping to watch someone fail at this?
No, I'm hoping that they don't.
Okay,
that's my whole thing.
But
hoping that they land whatever trick or.
Like you would not if someone put the word "fail" on the title, you wouldn't watch that.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that.
Yeah, that's
I don't want to watch
sadistic.
that. I want them to clear it, but I do like the fact that sometimes they show them getting hurt. So you know that
Well,
they're not just hitting this on the first try.
The ones that I do like is like the guys who are doing whatever the stunt is, and let's say like there's a wall that goes all the way down.
Yeah.
And they end up missing the jump, and they
slide down.
Because to me, that's like at least they, maybe they'll sprain an ankle or break a leg, but they won't die because, of course, they've got the wall to support them.
Yep.
They'll skin up their arms and legs and stuff, but it's not fatal.
But the dumb ones is the one jumping off the building onto the street light poles and sliding down.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I was like,
they do that off the roof onto a street light
and slide down. Yeah.
Oh,
but then you see this whole the whole pole like going rocking back and forth. It's like I was like, yeah, that's now you taking it a little too far.
Yeah. Michael A says that those jackets, the knife resistant jackets, are made with Kevlar. They are somewhat cut-proof, but not stab-proof. So someone
slicing compared to stabbing.
Versus stabbing. Good point, Michael A. Thank you for that. I don't. How do you prevent that? What am I supposed to keep like a deck of cards in every pocket or something like that? And you know how they do that in the movies with what was it? Was it Rush Hour 2 when he's fighting the girl at the end? Of Rush Hour 2, Chris Tucker is fighting the girl, and the what do you call it? That sword or whatever it was goes into his chest, and you think he's stabbed, but it actually stabbed into the wad of money that he had in his pocket.
Oh yeah. I think that might have been 3, but
no, that's 2.
That was Rush Hour 2.
Yeah, that was the one when they were at the what's the name?
Oh yeah, he went to the
casino.
Yeah. He's picking out the girls, right?
Yes, the fight at the casino. Yes, exactly. The fight at the casino at the end. What was it called? The Grand Dragon. I think it was a Red Dragon.
The Red Dragon.
The Red Dragon Casino. To bring that up. Let me see here. Hold on. There was a message. Remember when a couple wanted to see if a telephone book could stop a 50
cal?
A 50 cal Desert Eagle? It did not.
No, it didn't.
Wait a minute. So this is a popular video?
They have a bunch of videos where they're trying to see if a bullet. What can stop what caliber? They start with a 22 and they go all the way up to a 50 cal, and they see like it could be a bowling ball, it could be a statue, it could be rubber mats.
Right.
They're trying to just see how many it would take out, and does any of them go through every, like it'd be 15 rubber mats lined up.
So did they try the phone book with a 20? Like with a 25?
With a 22, a 22, I believe they started with.
Okay, and did that work in a phone book?
No, the 22 didn't go through the phone book.
All right, so 22, and then they got, I guess.
They got the 38, they got the
38?
the 9, the 4.5, and I'm not sure. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, Eric D is in my instant messages. Eric, if you know what caliber was stopped by the phone book, and then the one that obviously
did they put that in front of them, or did they? Because the other ones use a dummy. They use a dummy.
Yeah, exactly. Because what are the guys? What's the name of that show? Mythbusters. Yeah, that was a great. God, was that a great show? I really, really loved that show.
What happened to it?
I don't know.
They just ran out of mitts to bust.
I guess so. I guess so. They tried everything on that show. Everything you could think of was a part of that show. Let me see if Scotty O is jumping in on this one. No, he's just posting to be posting. Anyway, yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
That's madness.
What's that? Oh, this people
to put it on yourself is just.
Yeah, I know. I would think that people were smart enough to do it. Just again, if you're going to do that experiment, do it on a dummy. If you're going to do that experiment,
did you watch the Netflix special they had of the guy climbing at the 500-foot building or whatever? Freehand.
No, I'm afraid of heights.
I thought he was going to fall several times. And then this the part that's crazy. You get all the way to the top. You're standing on a little.
Yeah, little platform.
Small where you could barely fit your 2 feet on.
Yeah.
And he's just breathing like, yeah, I did it. I'm like, bro, get down.
Yeah.
Before the wind takes you away, get off of there. You made it.
I heard his fiance or his wife watched the whole thing.
Did she watch the whole thing?
Yeah, she was like, there was one scene where he was way up on the skyscraper and she's inside watching him climb. And I'm sitting there going like, what are you doing? It's the dumbest thing in the world.
I could never watch.
The thrill seekers have always kind of freaked me out, like the people who wish to do that. And, I think the whole idea of death-defying things, that's like, whew, I don't know. I have a hard time running fast. I'm like, don't put me out of my breath.
I always thought those were like the aliens of the world.
Yeah, I guess they are. They are. The fact that they're fearless. In fact, that particular guy you're talking about, the Netflix special, I think he was diagnosed with a particular ability to process fear different than any other person.
Okay, so he could just...
Yeah, it's like, because all of us process fear our own ways, some of them very similar, but apparently he processes fear in a different way, psychologically, which gives him... Because that's what I would imagine. Fear can, cause you to fall from that skyscraper.
Absolutely.
You know
your
what I mean?
Fingers will slip, your toes will slip.
Yeah. So
anything.
And that nervousness can get you, off your sort of, off your skill. So apparently he processes fear different, and this is how he's able to do these crazy feats. And I guess you do. I guess you need a level of confidence and know how to.
You got to be kind of crazy too at the same time to think, I'm gonna climb this freehand with no support, and I'm gonna be able to make it to the top.
I'm sitting here thinking about it, just going, wow, no. I'm so glad I didn't watch that.
It was nerve-wracking.
I bet it was. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Of course you did.
I was like cheering for him.
I don't know. I don't think I could get through that. Those people are just, I don't know. They freak me out. All right. Anyway, coming up in the next hour, we've got Ryan Fazio who's going to be joining us on the program. He's going to talk about his announcement to reduce your electricity bills if he becomes governor of the great state of Connecticut. And then I will ask him a very important question and see if he will agree when we return. So stand by for that. It's coming up very, very soon. Plus, we've got music news. Mark Christopher is getting you home on the roads. It's cold and there's snow everywhere. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Did you watch any of the Grammys last night?
No, actually, I
Really?
refuse. You know what? I'll tell you, if I can tell you real quick.
Yeah.
The day I stopped watching the Grammys was the day that Eric Clapton won for Tears in Heaven.
That you didn't think he deserved to win? Is
Nope.
that what you're telling me?
Nope.
It is sort of a popularity contest.
It was
All
a
these award shows
That
are.
one was, and I got into a fight at a bar the next day because of it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Fist fight?
No, let's just say the woman wanted to throw her drink in my face.
That's never happened to you before, Reese. I can't see that happening.
Only twice. Only twice.
Well, hopefully it was a drink that you enjoyed. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Westbound side of 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound's a little tight as you move into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound's moving well. Glastonbury to East Hartford. 91 southbound sluggish traffic approaching 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. If you are traveling northbound on the Parkway, look out for an accident in Wallingford between exits 61 and 62. It has you backed up to 61 behind that. On the westbound side of 84, delays 26 to 25 from Cheshire into Waterbury. And 95 southbound, you've got slow traffic 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Breezy the rest of this afternoon, but not as cold as recent days. Staying mainly clear, low near 35. Clear tonight, bitterly cold once again overnight. Watch for icy spots, low 1 below 0. A good deal of sunshine tomorrow, high 32. Becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow night, very cold once again, low 6. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high of 31 degrees. And for Thursday, a good deal of sunshine and continued cold with an afternoon high of 29. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock, 29 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Disturbing story out of New London this afternoon. Police there are investigating after they say a dog was found dead over the weekend in a trash bag. The find was made Saturday, police say, in the area of Gallows Lane and Williams Street just before 2 p.m. After they were alerted by a motorist, police say the canine is a small, compact, toy-sized dog, tan and black in color. The investigation is active and ongoing, and police are asking anyone with any information to contact the New London Animal Control Office. There have been over a half dozen reports of dead dogs found in various parts of the state since the start of the new year. Ahead of a new session for lawmakers, nonprofits are asking for financial help from the state government. They say years of flat funding plus federal cuts have put vital services in jeopardy. Heather Gates is CEO of Community Health Resources, which helps those impacted by mental illness, addiction, or trauma.
We are facing a funding crisis really of new proportions. Inadequate Medicaid rates, inadequate funding for state grant-funded programs, potential elimination of federal funding. And that is an ongoing trauma for the people we serve.
The Connecticut Community Nonprofit Alliance says many workers providing those services are underpaid. They're asking the state to protect social services where the federal government won't. House is returning to work this week as a partial government shutdown continues. Funding lapsed toward the Defense and Homeland Security Departments as well as State and Treasury. The Senate has passed a funding measure, still needs approval, though, in the House.
This measure has to clear a key hurdle in the Rules Committee, which is meeting later today, where really any one member, particularly on the Republican side, could put the brakes on this. But Speaker Mike Johnson is hopeful that this can move forward. He has indicated that a vote on the House floor could come as soon as Tuesday.
That's correspondent Nicole Killian on the Hill. Educators and parents are aligning in an effort to ban cell phones from all schools and classrooms across Connecticut. Some districts have already chosen to implement their own bans during class hours. The Phone Free CT Coalition is looking to extend the practice to all public schools. Connecticut Education Association Vice President Jocelyn Delancey.
So every district, I think through our plan, would have their own way of how they kept the cell phones out of the hands of students. Many use a Yonder pouch, or some of them have the little trees, the shoe trees in the front of the room where the kids put it in right when they enter the classroom.
Says they'll push for legislation when the General Assembly session begins on Wednesday. The mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie is missing. Authorities in Arizona are looking for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, reported missing over the weekend, last seen at her home in the Tucson area. Chris Nanos is the Pima County Sheriff.
We saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime. And we're asking the community's help.
Fake doctor was practicing in East Hartford and his boss was cashing in, according to the chief state's attorney. The state's Medicaid fraud unit is prosecuting, as we hear from WTIC's Dave Mager.
Prosecutors say 83-year-old Dr. Sultan Qureshi owns 2 walk-in clinics.
Silver Lane Medical Group in East Hartford and Stafford Medical Group in Somers. He allegedly hired 61-year-old Mohammed Siddiqui with no medical license to work at Silver Lane. They say Siddiqui then performed physical exams, injections, filled prescriptions, and more, all while claiming to be a doctor. His boss, Qureshi, then billed Medicaid as if he performed those services. Both men face a long list of charges, including healthcare fraud and first-degree larceny. They're both free on bail and will be arraigned Wednesday in Manchester. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Wall Street, the Dow up 515 points today. The NASDAQ ahead 130 and the S&P picked up 37. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, that's right. Did I not print that? What the hell? Who cares? It's time. News. Yes, music news. Now, yes, of course, as you know, Mark Christopher was asking, did I watch the Grammys? Of course, I didn't watch the Grammys. I knew the Grammys was on. It was all over my TV. It was all over the screen. Hey, the Grammys are on. You want to check out the Grammys? It was all over my news feed. Hey, check out the Grammys. Grammys are here. Grammys are going on. You want to see the Grammys? I'm like, nope, don't want to watch the Grammys. I don't know who these people are. Don't care. But of course, I got all of the videos and all of the comments. Hey, congratulations to Jelly Roll, whatever his name is, overweight Post Malone, whatever his name is. I don't know. I don't care. Congratulations. Yeah, no, he's still bigger than normal people. And I know he lost a whole bunch of weight. That's great, but he's still Post Malone. Anyway, that's all fine and fantastic. And yes, Jesus is for everybody. We understand that. And thank you for stating the obvious. But I will say this. I mentioned Billie Eilish on my Facebook post, right? You always find it crazy that all these people are sitting around there talking about, no one is illegal on stolen land. And it's always the people who are buying more of it. Billie Eilish lives very lavish on a lot of land that has been so-called stolen. They keep buying it. But here's the other thing that I noticed. Folks, they all talked about ICE. But did you notice that nobody on the Grammy stage or anywhere mentioned Don Lemon? Not one person mentioned Don Lemon. When Don Lemon was arrested, it was all you could talk about. A threat to democracy, they told us. He was in California covering the Grammys. That's where he was arrested. And what happened? Do you think that anybody would say, and to Don Lemon, we stand? Not one. They had ice out pins, no Don Lemon. No lemon juice pins, nothing like that. Lemon squeezed, nothing. People were walking around tossing lemons out in the crowd. Nothing. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Lemonade even. They weren't even serving lemonade.
No lemonade at the Crypto.com arena. So
then even named after Don Lemon. It's crazy.
That was the only disappointing part. I don't like when politics.
Politics.
it's like we're there to escape. We're there to watch these great musicians perform. And there's always like 3 or 4 they got to.
Sure, of course there are going to be a couple of people who do that.
Shut up.
But yeah, exactly.
Wait, show us what your real talent is. You know?
Exactly.
And they really are. There's a room full of really talented people, and they got to just spout off.
Last thing I want to do is be lectured by some half-naked 20-year-old.
Well, Chaperone apparently was topless on the red carpet.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it.
What-
Would she have like 2 pins on like where her nipples are supposed to be?
Yeah, I mean, do that over at the Pink Pony Club after the after the award ceremony. I mean, it's right down the street in West Hollywood.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh boy. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. On the westbound side of 84, you're tied up approaching the Boca Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84, a little slowdown as you move 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. If you're heading into Middletown, that looks good. 9 in the Aragoni Bridge, Waterbury. A little bit slow, 26 in Cheshire to 25 in Waterbury. If you're heading down in toward New Haven, 91 in the Parkway doing well. Northbound Parkway, we had an accident up, it looks like it's still there. It's between 61 and 62 in Wallingford. So you got delays back to 61 behind that. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples. Staples has hot deals and super low prices on everything for your business. And right now, brand your business at Staples with up to 30% off custom labels. Exclusions apply. Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app. Ends 4/18. Visit staples.com/print for details.
WTIC weather.
Clear and very cold tonight, a low of 1 below 0, and mostly sunny, cold weather tomorrow, high 32. We'll stay very cold tomorrow night. It will become mostly cloudy with the low of 6. Turning out partly sunny on Wednesday, high 31. Mostly sunny Thursday. Another cold day with a high of 29. Right now it is 24 degrees in Torrington. It's 27 in Waterbury and 31 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back and we are live on the phone with us, friend of the room, none other than gubernatorial candidate out of Greenwich, Connecticut, Ryan Fazio is here. What's up, big guy? How are you?
I'm great, Reese. How are you? Thanks for the
Thanks for the introduction.
No, my pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You know, I'm rooting for everybody. I've not picked a horse in this race yet, just out of fairness. But, you know, I like all of you, man. And all of you guys have been fantastic to me. Thank you for, you know, reaching out and always saying, you know, hey, you got an announcement to make. You want to be, you know, you want to give that announcement or talk about it on this program. Thank you for that. And you guys recognize it's important to get to this audience and tell them what you are preparing for them should you be elected governor of this great state. We'll get into that real quick, but I want to get this out of the way. It's important. And I've talked to a couple of people here at the station, and it is an idea that everyone is saying, all right, I think I like this. When you and I and Aaron Stewart were at Grassroots East this past weekend, Friday to be exact, someone walked up to me and said, hey, Reese on the radio, what's going on? You know what would be a great idea? We should have the candidates debate on WTIC. So I thought about this, and I said this would be great, but only under one condition. This is not a mudslinging thing. This is an 11th commandment thing where you guys come on, all three of you, or if there's another one who's at least considerate in the, say, polling data or somebody who's a viable candidate, to get together and do no mudslinging debate. In essence, talking about your plan to our audience at a place of our choosing that we can get people to come in and sit in, and you guys can talk about your plan to those folks about your plans for Connecticut. Would you be up to that? Because I've already gotten one person who has said that they would, if we could do it, is committing to it.
Absolutely. You know, this is the first I'm hearing of it. Just
of course.
So everyone knows, and I'm absolutely up for it. I'm willing to go anywhere, anytime to talk about the issues and substances in my plan as governor. So I am absolutely up for it.
That's all I needed to hear.
There you go.
That's all I needed to hear. And again, like I said, I'm dealing with an 11th commandment because, again, you know how I am. This is not no mudslinging. We don't need to go at war with one another. Who was the elected official who spoke at Grassroots Eats? He was given an award. And for some odd reason, I'm forgetting his name.
Doug Dubisky.
Yeah, Doug Dubisky, right. And that's what he was talking about. He says we need to stop fighting with one another. And that's important. We do have to have a debate, but we don't have to go to war with one another. And this is a great opportunity for us collectively as conservatives in this state to see the candidates talk about their mission and, of course, their plan for advancing Connecticut in a way that would be helpful to the residents of it and the constituents here. So I thank you for saying that you would be on board for that. So I'm in the works for that.
Great.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about what you came here to talk about, and that is you are announcing a plan to reduce electricity bills by 20%. Tell us about that.
This morning, I announced my 6-point plan to reduce energy rates by 20%, and the chief way among those to do it is to end the public benefits charge. You know, in the Senate a couple years ago, I passed a law that requires the public benefits charge to be specifically itemized and disclosed in our electricity bills every single month by the utilities. We've been paying it for 20 years, but it wasn't until I passed that law that we gave transparency to the issue. And now people are mad, and they should be mad because they're getting ripped off. And that was the first step to ending the charge once and for all and reducing electric rates for Connecticut residents.
Do you know, you did talk about transparency, and I meant to talk to you about this the first time we got together when you were you spearheaded this legislation into getting it spearheaded, I should say, into getting this passed that we could find out where it was. I meant to ask you this because there was an investigation I was doing, and I'm still a part of, that I found out a lot of this money was going to organizations like the Connecticut Green Bank. Do you know about that money?
Yeah, again, so people understand there are over 50 different programs embedded in the public benefits charge. So there's things like subsidies to green bank programs, low-income discounts, payment for people who didn't pay their bills.
Right.
And mostly, I would say the biggest element of all the charges are subsidies for renewable energy companies.
Right. And that's, again, what the Connecticut Green Bank is doing in taking that money and going to these renewable energy companies to then retrofit, I guess, lower income homes. But they were only doing, I think the number of families were about 7,000 in over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really, really insane. Okay, so tell us some more. There was something interesting you said that's also in your 6-point plan. Expand natural gas capacity. That is something that, of course, all of Lamont's critics have talked about. How could you possibly get that done with all of the, fossil fuels is bad legislators right now?
Well, because residents, their constituents, understand their electric bills are too expensive. And the cheapest form of energy and power generation we have in the state as is natural gas. But there is a limit to how much we can bring in because the pipelines are at capacity. Now, the state of New York almost just gave Connecticut a gift because recently they have rejected a proposal for a new pipeline to go through New York into Connecticut to bring cheap natural gas here on the same day that they approved a pipeline to go from Pennsylvania into New York to service their own customers.
Wow.
Which I think is clearly a violation of interstate commerce. And it basically invokes the Constitution and the federal government. So if the Attorney General and the governor, if they had the best interests of Connecticut residents in mind, they should have been standing up in November against New York and pressing them with the federal government for approval of a new pipeline. I will do that as governor, and I think that is enormous leverage that we now have against New York to make it happen.
Yeah, New York had to do that. By the way, Kathy Hochul didn't have a choice because there was really no relief coming into the state of New York as far as energy costs was going. She had but it's so wild that that pipeline would be cut off into Connecticut, allowing that to happen. Ned Lamont, knowing that one of the biggest problems we have in the state is energy costs, and he did virtually nothing. He spent more time covering for Gillette than he did getting costs down.
Yeah, and listen, the governor has even admitted that we probably need more natural gas, but you've been governor for 8 years and you have a responsibility in that time to get things done, not just talk about it. And if you can't, then we need to find someone else who will do the job. And in the case of natural gas and energy affordability, you got to walk the walk. You can't just talk the talk.
You said cut ratepayer-funded subsidies for insufficient renewable energy projects. And this says, you said, end the renewable portfolio standard or allow all forms of hydropower and nuclear power to satisfy the mandate in order to reduce costs and ensure fair treatment in all forms of clean energy. Explain that indeed, if you could, a little clearer.
Yes. So we, as I said before, about half of all the public benefits charges are really subsidies for renewable energy companies, mostly solar. And some of the costs that we are paying, ratepayers are paying for that energy, is so far above what the normal market wholesale rate is for electricity, it'll boggle your mind. So, for instance, if I'm, for a natural gas plant selling electricity, they'll get about 4 cents per kilowatt hour for the energy they produce. But under these public benefits programs that are subsidizing solar companies, in some cases, we're paying 30 cents per kilowatt hour, 15 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. So in some cases, about 8 times higher than the market rate.
Yeah.
It's like going to a gas station and spending over $20 a gallon on regular gasoline. But that's what we're being forced to do as ratepayers. I'll end those programs and cut those subsidies, which will help make our market more functional, but most importantly, our state more affordable.
I can't seem to understand, Ryan. By the way, if you're just joining us, we're on the phone with Ryan Fazio, gubernatorial candidate. You know what I've never been able to figure out, and I guess no one really has an answer, so I'll ask you. I know that Lamont really wanted to make us the twin state of California for a long time. That's the reason why we had that ridiculous EV mandate that he had to back away from. He's been very hesitant to go any further with the electric bus program and all that. But my problem with this is that with a governor who knows that we have more and more people who are leaving that are coming in, he's clearly losing businesses who are, his own wife's business left and went to Tennessee, as many businesses have gone. What is it? Something I'm not getting about why this guy would cost? I'm just saying, the guy, Betsy McCoy said something interesting. They said, Lamont is rich because he owns a business, not because he's a businessman. Would you agree that that's what it is? He's just a rich guy who doesn't know how to keep businesses in Connecticut?
Well, you are what your record says you are. And I think Bill Parcells said that.
That's right.
His record is that businesses and companies and jobs and people have left the state under his watch. I mean, if you look at his entire tenure as governor, Connecticut has the second lowest economic growth rate in the entire country. People are still leaving the state. And so, again, you are what your record says you are, and people are hurting in the state. Small businesses are hurting more than big businesses because it's harder for them to contend with the costs of big government in Hartford. They don't have their own lobbyists and accountants and activists supporting them. So, again, you are what your record says you are, and this governor's record is one of stagnant economic growth, high cost of living, tax increase after tax increases, and businesses leaving the state.
And I'll ask you this, I guess, before you go. Recently, there was a poll that came out that says that Lamont sits at a comfortable 56% popularity, or I guess, approval rating in the state. Do you think that's bupkis? Do you think that's bogus?
It's certainly not 56% of the people I'm speaking to.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll say this. He's gotten off, I think, scot-free in recent years.
Indeed.
But, I think after 8 years, the voters are going to hold you accountable for your record, and I think they'll grow tired of 8 years of unaffordability and a stagnant economy and rising disorder in our society. And that number will, if it's true, and I don't think it is, will fall rapidly as my campaign starts to hold him to account for his record.
Look, I have faith in all of you in doing that. I think the most important thing that can happen here in this race, Ryan, it's not so much about you guys winning, but we have got to get people who support Governor Lamont at least in a place where they're saying, I can't vote for any more of this. Because I know it's this thing about not voting for Republicans, but there's got to be a place where people go, I don't want to vote for Ryan, I don't want to vote for Aaron, but I can't vote for this guy again because I can't be responsible for this guy or give this guy a blank check to tax us into holes anymore.
That's exactly right. And I think the base, his working class voters who vote Democrat, I think they in particular are growing tired of this record because they're having trouble making ends meet.
Yeah,
and
defending it.
The reality doesn't meet the promises.
Yeah, they
How
can't
can you
defend
say
it. They
this is
shouldn't be able to.
acceptable?
Yeah, they can't. That's the whole thing, is that after a while, you can't defend a record that each and every one of us are having to pay for more and more each day. And voting him again for a third time, again, would be giving him a blank check. You would be giving him permission to tax us into obscurity.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And he's moved to the left in the past year, which is shocking that was even possible. But between signing this housing bill, between raising taxes, eliminating so many of the guardrails protecting fiscal sanity in our budget, he has only moved to the left even more, and I think he'll pay a penalty at the ballot box for that.
Couldn't agree more. Ryan Fazio, gubernatorial candidate, announcing he is going to reduce your electricity bills by 20%. Please go to his website, which is Fazio. What is your website? I know it's your
RyanFazio.com.
That's what it is. RyanFazio.com. I knew it was that simple. I knew it was. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Reese.
You got it. Ryan Fazio, he has committed to the WTIC gubernatorial debate. I wonder who else wants to join in. We'll find out. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, westbound 84, look for delays. East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound looks good. Southbound 91, just a little slow getting by 33 Jennings Road. 2 westbound. Once again, just a minor slowdown merging with 84 west. Quiet Middletown. If you're traveling westbound 84 Cheshire into Waterbury, some slow traffic 26 to 25. And 95 southbound, you're tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
you have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
Little moderation in temperature this afternoon, above freezing in most areas for the first time in a while, but remaining breezy, mostly clear, high near 35. Clear tonight, very cold once again overnight, low 1 below 0. Watch for icy spots tonight and early tomorrow, mostly sunny tomorrow, high 32. Very cold tomorrow night, increasing cloudiness, low 6. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 31. Cold on Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 29. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Man accused of shooting and killing a motel attendant in an argument over a pool pass price has been convicted of murder. It was June of 2021 that Alvin Waugh and the attendant, Zeshan Chowdhury, got into the argument when Chowdhury threw Waugh out of the Motel 6 in Vernon. The suspect went to his room, retrieved a homemade semi-automatic pistol, and shot Chowdhury 11 times. He'll be sentenced in June. Disturbing find in New London over the weekend. Police say a dog was found dead in a trash bag. Officers say they were alerted by a motorist to the area of Gallows Lane and William Street. The canine, a male, compact toy-like dog. Anyone with information is being asked to contact the New London Animal Control Office. Investigators in Arizona say they've got a crime investigation on their hands. The mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie has been missing since the weekend. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen near her home in the Tucson area on Saturday. Police in North Haven investigating an armed robbery. They say a man was held up at gunpoint on Sunday evening. Had his BMW stolen from an apartment complex on Hartford Turnpike. No injuries were reported. And looks like 6 more weeks of winter around here. That from our friend Chuckles, the groundhog at the Lutz Children's Museum today. Dozens turned out for Chuckles' triumphant appearance and prediction on this Groundhog Day. On Wall Street, markets up all around. The Dow gained 519 points. The NASDAQ was up 130, and the S&P picked up 37 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
QC Kinetics helps active people stay active. People like David Boardman, police officer, competitive athlete, and gym owner who trains hard almost every day.
My body's taken a lot of abuse over the years. I've had multiple knee surgeries on both of my knees. I could barely run a mile prior to going to QC Kinetics. Doctors have all told me, hey, you are going to need knee replacements.
But QC Kinetics gave David great news.
We're going to give you the opportunity to have not 1, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
And after David's regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics?
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week. I really wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for QC Kinetics.
From knee pain to Ironman training.
It's a no-brainer.
Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics to book your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN. pain.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Yeah, make sure you download that Odyssey app and check us out on WTIC.com. You can also check out Reese On The Radio. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, which, by the way, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com because you have to find that video from FightVoterFraud.org. I've already got it posted there so you can check it out yourself so you can learn how to fight voter fraud in your own community, right on your block. That's right. Person lives across the street from you, your subdivision, whatever it is, they moved out. How you can find out if that person has been removed from the voter rolls. If you care, you can fight back yourself. That's important to know. I hear that Melania Trump had a documentary that came out over the weekend, and apparently it was a huge success. Congratulations to the folks who put that together. But the news media said something I thought was funny, and it said something along the lines of, Melania movie defies box office. Defies how? Like, defies it of what? I don't even understand what that phrasing means. It defies the box office. And I know you get it. It's like, well, she's not supposed to be popular in the box office. Isn't she reviled? And in my head, I keep saying I'm saying to myself, how many people do you think voted for Donald Trump? Like 9? Like, they got 77 million votes. Like, seriously, like, are you ridiculous in thinking that no one was going to watch it? Defies the box office? It did extremely well because she's extremely popular. And if I might add, quite attractive. Do you remember when you were all trying to convince us that Michelle was the prettiest first lady ever? You remember that? You couldn't stop talking about her muscular arms. Do you remember that? Do you remember how much you were talking about that? It was a big deal to you. You know, how jacked her looked. She looked. Remember that? It's the cold. I can't remember exactly what I was talking about. Do you remember that? I remember that quite well. Now, me, on the other hand, I will admit, not that Melania is not attractive. She is a beautiful woman. But I will admit, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. I shouldn't, but I am. People are going to be weirded when I say it. There was a first lady I had a thing for. And I always thought she was pretty. I did. And there was something about the way that she spoke, her behavior, her mannerisms. There was just something I just thought was very attractive about her. And that was Laura Bush. I did. I did. There was something about her. I kind of always had a thing for her growing up. I know it's crazy, but no one ever talks about her in that way. But she just, I really did. I would see her in interviews and the way that she would speak, and she would wear the pearls. She was very dignified, well-spoken. I would see her at event. You don't think Laura Bush is attractive? I don't know, just She just had a certain demeanor about her. You're looking at her picture going, no, I don't see it. I've got weird taste, Roland, okay? He's like, clearly. Really? Who was your first lady? You don't have one? Okay, all right, whatever. I'll run through some pictures for you. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Did you have a first lady you thought was attractive?
Oh, Lady Bird Johnson.
Lady Bird Johnson?
Lady Bird, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Lady Bird Johnson.
No, Melania Trump is obviously.
Of course she's gorgeous. I was going to Lady Bird Johnson. Which was no, that was Betty Ford. Wrong person.
Right.
Yeah, that Betty Ford. That was
4 years later.
Yeah, that was much later. Much later. Yeah. She rubbing alcohol. It's interesting.
Rubbing alcohol?
Yeah.
Is that what she drank, Betty Ford? Is that where we got the Betty Ford clinic from, rubbing alcohol?
She talks about that openly.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
That's when you got a major problem. You're drinking rubbing alcohol.
Baby, yes you do.
I mean, holy smokes. Wow.
Yeah.
She's a great woman. I mean, she helped a lot of people. No question about that.
Hey,
it took a lot of guts for her to come out as the first lady.
As I said, this man that sits behind this mic owes her a debt of gratitude.
The friends of Bill W. Right?
Damn right. Damn right.
All right.
Yep.
Thank God. I've been lucky. I don't have the gene, but a lot of people before me.
I'm still trying to figure out where I got it from.
Yeah, I know. I know there was a lot of that going on with my great parents had some issues there, but
wow. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Radio is my high. That's what I get my high from.
Join the club, my friend. Join the club.
There you go. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. Good ride eastbound 84, both sides of 91, easy ride. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury and East Hartford, quiet Middletown. Westbound 84, you're tied up 26 in Cheshire up to exit 25 in Waterbury. 95 southbound, you've got some slow traffic from exit 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We're very cold tonight, a low of 1 below zero by daybreak, and will stay cold tomorrow. A good deal of sunshine, high 32. Increase in climate tomorrow night, low 6 above. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 31, and mostly sunny on Thursday with a high of 29. It is currently 24 degrees in Winstead. It's 27 in Walcott and 31 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meyer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Columbia Dental has great care close to home. Our state-of-the-art network connects all 12 Connecticut locations, making appointments easy. Plus, our Waterbury office now offers a prosthodontist for specialized care. Schedule your appointment today, 860-645-0111.
I needed a refresh in my home. I needed to zhuzh up my dull gray walls, and I knew just who to call. Serta Pro Painters. They gave me free estimates, reliable communication, and professional painting, all at the right price. They left my home spotless, and they even helped me pick out a color that I love. I also love each Serta Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. So if your home needs a zhuzh too, schedule your free estimate online today at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose Serta Pro Painters.
UConn's Silas Demery Jr. and Braylon Mullins know winning takes trust, hustle, and the right team.
I work both ends of the court. That's the only way to win. And when the pressure's on, I trust my team on the court and in life.
That's why they trust BPS lawyers, handling personal injury, family law, and more.
I'm Nick Payne-Darris. At BPS Lawyers, we're one full-service firm. All your legal needs, always.
BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hola, amigos! BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, covers the biggest sports stories nationwide, live and interactive. From the build-up to the big game in Santa Clara, clear to the road to March in college hoops. As the night's games are getting underway, we're following along for the stories that matter. Tap in. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio, Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Okay, now listen very closely. This is important. We have committed Ryan Fazio to a debate. We're going to call it the 11 Commandment Debate. This is an opportunity for the candidate to answer questions from people in the audience. This will not be like a free-for-all, people coming up and asking questions. We will get these questions from people in business leaders, homeowners, every walk of life. So to give you a layout of how we want to do this, and I think it's very positive, and I think it shows a unification of the party. Here are three people. If there are a fourth one, I know there's somebody out there who's talking, somebody ain't called me, so unless you call me, I'm not going to know who you are. But I know the people that I know: Aaron Stewart, Ryan Fazio, Betsy McCoy. Ryan Fazio has said on these airwaves, hey, tell me what it is, I'm there. Betsy McCoy called my people and said, I'm on it. She even called here and spoke to Roland. She called here personally, right? She did. Nobody else, not her people. She called during the commercial break. She says, wherever it is, I'm there. We're waiting on Aaron Stewart. I know her people have found out about it. We'll get a comment from her. Here's the deal. These are the guidelines. As I said, an 11th Commandment debate. It's not about these guys going after each other. It's an opportunity for them to get in front of their crowd, Republicans, unified, to listen to these candidates. There's nothing about having their group and that group inside there. No. Here's what our plan is. And if we can get it, this would be a great idea. You, the listeners, get an opportunity to be in the audience. We'll set some seats aside for business folks, people who are entrepreneurs here and there. They'll be there in the crowd. Some of them will even contribute questions to the debate, whatever concerns them as business owners. I'm sure like 9 or 10 of them will have the same question, but we'll be able to sort of dole out the good business questions of those folks. We'll also take some questions from some average folks, homeowners, renters, people below the poverty line, people above the poverty line, the things that matter most to them. These questions would come out from the moderators, who would be myself, Brian, excuse me, I was about to say Brian Kilmeade, Brian Shackman, and Morgan Cunningham. The three of us would be there. Well, I got to be there because it's my idea. They would be at one place. Now, I thought about doing this on the air because there's this thing where, of course, we'd have to sell time. Too many commercial breaks would make it difficult to do, and it'd just be a whole bunch of other stuff. There are other things that we can do outside of that. We can do it after the show hours and make it available for people to watch online. There's a whole logistical thing, but there would be a place where we would have it, and the people who want to be there, they can be there by getting the tickets here exclusively through WTIC, right? Like we would hold any concert. Like if you want to go to the concert, only the people from, WTIC listeners can get to the, Robert Goulet, whatever the case is. The bottom line is that you would win the tickets here, and we would give them away every day up until the event, and then during the event, they would show up, and then, of course, we'd hold the debate. And, of course, if you couldn't see it, you'd be able to watch it online at reasonoradio.com or any other place, WTIC.com, wherever the case may be, and it would be a big, giant event. Sound like a good idea? Why wouldn't anybody want to be a part of that? Roland, what say you? This is the first time you're hearing about it. What do you think? Really? Really? As a producer, you've done this for television. You don't think that's any of this is a good idea? Oh, okay. You don't have an opinion on it. Okay. All right. That's what I get for springing it on him. So I just thought that was, for me, I just think it would be fantastic. It's huge. What other station are they going to do it on? WTNH is going to run it. It's going to be inside the studio. Nobody's going to care. We're going to hold it at WFSB and who's going to care about that? Nobody's going to care. It's going to be one or two guys, somebody from Noticias, asking a question about Donald Trump and ICE agents. Who's going to listen to that? Nobody wants that. That stuff is boring. They want real stuff. Real stuff right here. Let me go to Dave in Brantford real quick. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, how are you? That was a good Fazio. I'd appreciate when you mentioned 11th commandment, you put Reagan's name in front of it. The
That's
original,
right.
Gentle, speak no evil of your fellow Republicans.
Exactly.
I thought Fazio did a very good job listing points, achievable points, to lower the price of electricity.
That's right.
Instead of randomly attacking. I think one of the points he made toward the end, and he didn't attack, instead of Tong's useless 50-odd lawsuits against Trump,
That's right.
How about one good one against Hochul and Attorney General James out of New York for blocking our access to cheap Pennsylvania natural gas?
That's correct.
And my own suggestion for lowering the price of electricity, at the mouth of New Haven Harbor sits the ex-United Illuminating, it's called the New Haven Harbor, the generating station.
Yeah.
That is there complete, but it's mothballed most of the time. It sits there as an emergency, basically a peaking plant to only come on use. And, for instance, it was on Saturday into Sunday morning because the grid was under so much stress.
Wow.
They had to fire it up. They've been steaming it up for about 10 days now because they knew the grid would come under stress with this cold wave.
Yeah.
That is a huge amount of wasted capital. The manpower and the invested money in that plant to use it a couple days a year as a peaking plant. That's a 460-megawatt baseline station that needs to be used more often, and burning natural gas because it's clean. And if we can't get that gas through the pipeline, it's right next to the harbor. They need to bring in a liquid natural gas tanker direct from Louisiana to feed it directly if we can't get natural gas out of the pipeline in the winter because there's not enough to go around.
That's insanity.
And so, we need a modest-sized LNG tanker that berths on the side of that electric station in New Haven Harbor, and that could be its own storage. The boat sits there until the gas is used up to make electricity, and we send it on a round trip again. We need original ideas.
That's it.
The windmill thing is ridiculous. There's a windmill now in New Haven Harbor. It never spins because it's broken. Because it's not worth fixing it.
And again, no one ever makes reference to that. They only talk about the Rhode Island windmill, totally excluding the fact that there's one that's sitting that's broken, that's producing no energy.
And it hasn't been since last spring.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about, if it's such a great idea, why is it we can't even afford to fix it?
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like new windmills out in that salty ocean environment, 12 to 20 miles out in the ocean. Every time they break, what are you going to send a 5-story barge out there to send the guy up to oil the bearing? That's just ridiculous.
That's exactly what it is. Thank you, buddy.
I appreciate your debate idea. I think that's a very good one.
Thank you, sir.
Reagan's commandment. Bye.
That's right. Reagan's commandment, indeed. Corey is in Meriden. How are you doing, sir?
Good, guys.
Hi. Hello, kids. How are you? It's good to hear your voices. What are you calling about today?
Hey, boss. How you been, bud?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to hear their voices, man.
Thank you. Hey, I'm super stoked. These guys are often listeners of you, man.
Thank you. That means the world. So thank you so much for that. That's what you were trying to surprise me with?
It was a surprise beyond measures, man.
Thank you. Kids, you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm sorry. What do you want to say, Corey?
Hey, man, for Fazio, let him ride it. We got his back. 100%.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you, kids. You guys have a wonderful night.
Say bye.
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 Bye-bye. That's so cute. That's 100% adorable. Let's go to Rick in Wethersfield. Hello, Rick.
Hello?
Yes, Rick. How are you?
Yes, I don't know if what I have is relevant or not, but it's a Bruno Mars story. I don't know if you'd like to hear it. It's very unique.
Bruno Mars. He does have a new album coming out.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
I didn't really like that song that much. Anyway, so I'm at the casino, and we got to talking to a dealer. I mean, it was a very dead day at blackjack table.
Sure.
We're talking about different artists, how they use lip syncing, so on and so forth. And Bruno Mars came up, and I said, man, this guy is talented. And I really think he's very talented. And the dealer said, yeah, I liked him too until that said the P word, played here. So he walked by Bruno Mars, or Bruno Mars walked by him while he was changing shift tables, and Bruno Mars said, stop effing looking at me, or I will have you effing fired.
Really?
Yes. And about a month ago, I went back to that dealer, and the dealer told me that he also had a cleaning woman fired because she started vacuuming before 11. So to fire, but the bigger issue is to fire somebody. Come on, man.
That's just no. First of all, nothing irks me more than a wealthy guy firing or getting fired a working stiff. That is the most that's a disgusting thing that you could do.
It's reprehensible.
Yeah, it is reprehensible. But you know what? What you're supposed to do? You can complain about their behavior, if they do something that bad. But vacuuming before 11.
But don't look at me. And the guy said, I'm not gay. I'm not looking at you. I'm changing my shift to a different blackjack table.
You know what? He is probably a very, you know what it might be? He's relatively short, and there may be kind of a Napoleon thing going on there.
Yeah, insecurity.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I have a tip of the day. Would you like to hear a tip of the day?
Give me one.
Well, don't ever let the battery in your nose hair clipper run down. Because what happens is it plucks out each hair individually, and it's very painful. So I just want to leave that
okay,
with
well, you know what? I have an electric one at home, and thank you for reminding me that I need to get new batteries in her.
Yeah, because it'll bring a tear to your eye.
Yes, it will.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Last but not least, let's go to my good friend Steven in Waterbury. What's up, Stevie B?
Well, a couple things there. Amazing that Lamont wants to bring natural gas in, like a big push, but Biden was like saying we want to get rid of gas stoves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as far as your debate going on, would you take some emails? Maybe we could just have.
Oh yeah. So that's the objective is this. Look, it's the WTIC audience that is primarily going to be the focus of the questions that are on there. Because I can make it, Brian Shackman can have some questions to ask, Morgan Cunningham can, and myself. But us being the host, everybody does that, and sort of injects their own politics, if you will, into it. What I want to do is to make this debate about the people who matter most. And those are the people who are going to get out and vote.
Awesome. Hey, two more things really quick. What about that Barbara Bush, eh? How
No Barbara Bush. I knew somebody was going to mention her. You would. I've already feel guilty enough saying Laura Bush. Now that's going to be sitting with everybody.
What'd you think about Sarah Palin?
I cannot say for a lot of reasons, but let me just put it to you. Let me put it this way, okay?
Yep.
There was a thing that I had for Sarah Palin for a little while.
Okay.
In 2008, only for a little while.
All right.
That's all I'll say.
Okay. How much time do we got? We have any time left?
You have less than 30 seconds.
Okay. I know how you could get some liberals to start listening to your program.
Okay.
They're against men. They're against heterosexual marriage. I found out you're black the other day.
Uh-huh.
So you just got to go in and use the black card, use the heterophobia card, and use the man-hater card.
That might work. But maybe I should be promoted as a homosexual black male, and that will make sure that they have to support me because it's mandated by law. Thank you, Stevie.
Well, you're on your own for that one, brother. Okay.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Time to get up out of here. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, I agree. It's an amazing idea. Thank you, Michael A. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. Don't forget, we've got Brandon on the show today, Washington Times, Daily Wire, and Christian Post writer about what's going on in Nigeria. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
Good night, Reese. Thank you very much. And if you are heading into Hartford right now, it looks good. Westbound 84, a little tap of the brakes between 47 and 46 Avenue. No